Well, here we are in Middletown, Ohio. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Matthew Alvarez. You see a lot of people here. It's got a lot of Trump rally vibes in Middletown, Ohio, of course, for the vice presidential candidate, JD Vance. This is his homecoming in the sense of a send-off as well, as he is from Middletown, Ohio. So what we're seeing is a live look right now. Let's go all the way to the right there. This is obviously a field, but we've got a ton of people, a long line of people all the way to the right of the school. And then it goes all the way to the left as well. So a ton of people here for this event. This auditorium, I'm told, can fit up to about 600 people. Well, there's 600 people right in this line right about here. So this is going to be quite the day for Senator JD Vance, the vice presidential nominee. A lot to get to, of course, a lot of news going on in the 24/7 news cycle. So let's look at some of these signs right here. We've got Trump, Keep America Great 2024, wanted for president. We see Biden sucks there. You got God, guns, and guts. Warning, no stupid people beyond this point. Police lives matter. Weekend at Biden's. I'm voting for the convicted felon. You see Trump 2024, never surrender. Farmers for Trump back there. It's great. I mean, this is pretty cool yard signage right here for the Trump Vance ticket. And speaking of that, a photographer bought one of these earlier, a Trump Vance 2024 pin. Pretty cool stuff as well. So let's take a live look here all the way to the left. You can see all of these people here. I mean, this is a huge, huge crowd. We were wondering like how large of a crowd would be here. Of course, anything related to our country being saved, anything related to President Trump and JD Vance, this shows the American people are out here and wanting Donald Trump and JD Vance to be in the White House come 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, come 3 months and 15 days from now, 3 months and actually 14 days from now. Obviously, we'll get to a lot of news about Kamala Harris and Biden stepping down. And the question a lot of people are asking on Truth Social and elsewhere is, where's Joe Biden and how in the world are we running the country right now? Do we have a commander-in-chief that can even run the country at this point? So a lot of questions to be answered from the DNC in August, but we've seen so many people come out in support of Kamala Harris on the left. We're going to get to some quotes from MAGA Inc. about their reaction with a lot of people endorsing Harris. Of course, I was watching the video earlier where Kamala Harris is outside of a school bus doing a transportation press briefing. You remember that one? Talking about the school bus and how fun it is to ride on the school. Various things. Very interesting soundbite from someone that is possibly going to be the DNC's candidate come August. So we'll see what happens there. But those aren't the headlines that I'm going to be focused on today, because we know that President Trump and what's going on with this country is needed for our nation. So I stick to the truth with it and the common sense. I'm not going to go with what the left-wing fake news media wants to push. And they may go real hard on the DEI situation for Kamala Harris. I mean, at the end of the day, regardless of if you're Asian or if you're black or if you're white or if you're Hispanic or Middle Eastern, whatever you're from, it's not about that. It's about simply this: how good of a job will you do? And that is the main reason that we are looking for someone like Donald Trump, because he's already done great things for 4 years, and we want to see some more of that. Now, when I say we, I mean we the people as well. They've said the same thing. So what we're going to do here is walk the crowd here, talk to some people. For those of you that watched in Grand Rapids, Michigan the other day, it's going to be kind of similar to that. Let's go see how the people are doing, how they're feeling, and how excited they are to see JD Vance. Now, JD Vance went to this school right here behind us, the Middletown High School. So we've got the middle school to the right and the high school to the left. But I'll tell you, that line is extremely long. So why don't we start walking? We're going to go through this way. Maybe we'll get the video perspective to the right of the crowd here. Hello, guys. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? Where are you guys from?
From right here.
All right, cool. Your thoughts about this long line of people, and Donald Trump's not even going to be here. Maybe he will show up. You never know. But the fact that JD's here, and what are your guys' thoughts about that?
What do you think?
I'm excited. He's a local guy. I think it's great to have somebody representing Middletown. I've heard Middletown's name a lot more in the last week than I've heard in years, and it's exciting to have somebody local that's representing the country.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have fun in there. All right, so we're going to continue on here and take a live look at the crowd and just show you how long this crowd is. Again, this is a high school auditorium that fits about 600 people. Well, if you look to the right here, you could just count how many people are already just on this one section of line. There's way more, as my videographer just said. There's more than 600, and that is the truth. This, again, has Trump rally vibes written all over it. Obviously, at Right Side, we've covered, I don't know how many. It'd be great to get the number of how many rallies Right Side Broadcasting has covered since day one in 2015. But this is what we want to show you. We want to show you what it's like prior to the event. Now, we do know that Senator Vance, the vice presidential pick, will take the stage around 1:30 Eastern. So it's 11:26 right now, and we will be interviewing a lot of people here, but I just want to show you first just kind of what we're working with when it comes to the perspective of how many people are here. And what I'm told is we will actually have a second camera outside. So while the event's going on the inside, or even prior to that, right, there'll be some commentary and we'll be seeing the people from the inside. We'll have a split screen to show you how many people are still outside. I don't know how they're all going to get in because it's just kind of boots on the ground. It's just an easy common sense assessment, not afraid to say something like that. Sometimes in news reporting, you always want to hear from an official and get a confirmation. But when you see it yourself, you can just simply say, this is what we see. So obviously, well more than 600 people, more than 1,000 people. Trust me, I'm going to show you, our videographer is going to show you the line to the right. This is a great vantage point. We could see all the way down that way. All of the people, the line wraps around. And then we're going to take a look as we come here to the left, as some traffic comes through. It goes all the way around all the Westchester police vehicles, and look at that. It keeps on going and going and going. JD Vance, this is his hometown rally in Middletown, Ohio. We'll take the stage at 1:30 Eastern. So thanks so much for joining us here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Now, those of you that were watching on the RSBN app, the United States Secret Service Director getting questions there on Capitol Hill. If you'd like to still watch that broadcast live from Capitol Hill, you can go to our other streams on Rumble, YouTube, and also X and Facebook. In the meantime, we will be here live throughout the day until JD Vance is done speaking, and then we'll have a wrap up there. We'll throw that back to Bobby in the studio. Now, guys, this is kind of like an RSBN tour that's going on. A lot of ground travel going on. I almost wish we had a tour bus at this point because a lot of miles traveled over the past 3 to 4 days. We've had a photographer go from Butler, Pittsburgh area, all the way up to Michigan. My photographer and I drove all the way from Alabama through Georgia, all the way up to Michigan. And then now we're here in OHIO, Ohio. Of course, the big rival of the Michigan Wolverines is Ohio State Buckeyes. But you know what? Today, it's not about the Buckeyes or the Wolverines. This is all about our country. So a lot of cheers, of course, for JD Vance having his hometown event here. He is 39 years old, a former Marine, of course, went to Middletown High School right here in this town, and also a graduate of the Ohio State University. And I'll get into some more of his military background as well as we move forward. In that book he wrote, The Hillbilly Elegy, as well. So let's keep walking here. Actually, I want to walk straight this way and then to the left and just show the crowd a little bit, as we have some vehicles passing through here. So we got to keep an eye out for all of that to stay safe, of course. So a lot of patriots, a lot of people, and a lot of law enforcement here as we see if a lot of these people, what their reaction will be. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of them probably won't be able to get in. And I know right now, sometimes in the past, President Trump would step out into the situation, but that's not something that at this point now they're both the official nominee That might not be what happens with JD Vance. Maybe he will wave at least somewhere. We don't know. But we'll cover every angle as we see it here in Middletown. Does anybody here love President Trump and JD Vance? Yes. All right. Your thoughts, sir? And you're from Middletown, yeah?
I work in Middletown.
Awesome. What are your thoughts about him being here for this hometown rally?
I think it's exciting. I'm a fireman here in Middletown, so I know a lot about the community.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you surprised to see thousands of people here like this?
No, I'm not surprised at all. I think he's got a lot of support. He's had a lot of support over the years, and I didn't expect it to change.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Anybody see President Trump's speech and JD Vance's speech in Grand Rapids, Michigan the other day? Anybody watch? All right, he said yes right over here. Let's go chat with him real quick. What are your thoughts about that speech? I mean, it was electrifying in there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was electrifying. It makes the world think about when a man gets his ear shot off almost and almost dies for this country. He took a bullet for us.
Right.
And what he said about the immigration and Vance talking about the immigration, it's just unreal what this country has become right now on account of the other administration. Now, I'm not saying this because it's the way it is. It is the way it is because I don't want to be a word salad like some people are, but that's just the way it is right now. This country has went to you-know-where, and because of it, Trump is back. He's always been around. He'll always be here. He'll always be in our hearts, too.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know, are you a baseball fan by chance?
Somewhat, yeah.
St. Louis Cardinals recently in Pittsburgh, when they hit a home run, right? The guy runs around the bases, and the guys in the dugout all did a Trump salute where they put one hand on their ear and their fist in the air. How awesome is that?
That's powerful, man. That's powerful. It's just like the other day I was watching it, and people thought it was being disrespectful. People were wearing bandages on their ears out of respect for the man.
Right.
It's just unreal. Unreal.
And I want to show the viewers real quick, and I'll show you at the same time here, James, if we can take a look at this. This is that Alec Burleson hit a home run in Pittsburgh. Beautiful ballpark at PNC Park. But there they are, right hand on the ear, left hand in the air. And by the way, this hat, I think this hat's going to get kind of famous right there. Look at that. Let's put these hats next to each other.
Oh, that's awesome.
Make America Great Again, and St. Louis. A shout out to the St. Louis Cardinals for showing
absolutely,
love.
absolutely,
Right, guys?
absolutely.
Right?
Let's hear it.
Right?
Let's hear it.
Any thoughts about the fact that a Major League Baseball team says, you know what, I don't care about cancel culture?
It's awesome. They don't refuse to stand up for the flag. They stand up for our country in support of Donald J. Trump.
Pretty awesome stuff. Thanks, guys. Thank you. See you guys in there. So we do want to thank the Birch Gold Group as one of our sponsors as well. All you have to do is text Trump to 989898, and you'll get a whole info kit on gold, silver, and precious metals. Obviously, the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and others, are trying to devalue the U.S. dollar and use their own dollar. So why not have some peace of mind with some hard backups of gold, silver, and precious metals? So all you got to do is text Trump to 989898. Once again, this is Matthew Alvarez here at the Senator JD Vance hometown rally as the freshly named VP pick of the Republican Party under President Trump. We're going to show you a lot of the crowd here. There's a whole lot of people, more than 600. 600 is what I'm told is the amount of people that could fit into the auditorium. So we're going to see how that goes. We hope that the people here will be able to see the speech inside, and also maybe JD will wave from a vantage point. Who knows what will happen? But everybody can also watch on RSBN's app as well, or on Rumble or on YouTube, the live speech as well. So let's turn around. Let's just keep walking here on live TV. And oh yeah, and I see that too there. My videographer just said the line, that the end of the line is way over there at the end of the street, at the street. So it loops around this way, goes down to the right, goes all the way around this way. So let's just keep walking here. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. See you guys later. So obviously a great time here. Let's move to the right here. Hi guys, how you doing? So we can kind of get a kind of a wider shot of what we see, so you guys can see it at home. A lot of Ohio State highway patrol here as well. So we've got the state police, we've got local PD, of course, Secret Service. Now that JD is a vice presidential candidate, he's got the Secret Service here as well. As there is news, of course, today, as the director of the Secret Service is in Washington with that House Oversight Committee asking her questions about what in the world happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, how that could even be possible. So, again, you're looking at this live crowd here, and you're seeing more than 2,000 people at this point. Obviously, very exciting times for Middletown, Ohio, and surrounding areas. Where's everybody from here? Are you all from Middletown? Germantown, Ohio. Germantown, okay. That's near Columbus, isn't it?
No, it's between Dayton and here.
Oh, okay, got it. Where are you guys from?
Mason.
Mason, all right, cool. Yeah, nice area in Mason. So you drove here. Are you surprised to see what you're seeing right now? Of all the people?
Oh, yeah. Well, they said they were going to let us in at 10:30, and it's past 11:30,
Yeah.
so I'm a little surprised at that.
Yeah. Everybody. They're the Sox once again. We saw them in Michigan. There they are here in Ohio. So you guys love the state of Michigan because of what happened in Grand Rapids the other day, right? With President Trump being there. That was kind of awesome. Any Ohio State fans? Oh, there you go, right here with the shirt. Kind of cool stuff.
I've never voted before, and I am so ready to vote.
Yeah?
Yes,
Never
sir.
voted ever in your life?
Never in my life.
And why didn't you vote back in the day?
I can't read or write or spell, so I was afraid to go in and try to do it because I was afraid I'd do it wrong. So I'm going to walk myself through it.
And I see that you're tearing up here. That's amazing.
Trump.
And why do you feel so passionately about this election and Donald Trump?
I've never voted before, but Trump did good last year. Prices of everything is up. Homes are up. It's hard for people to live right now. And he did have our country on the right. We went in war. And now we're in war.
And then also our freedoms and the Constitution.
Everything. Like I said, I don't really know much about politics, but I have been really watching it this year.
And the concerns are very real, aren't they?
Yes, they are, sir. For my grandkids.
Anyone want to step in here a little bit?
You're so awesome.
So your thoughts here, I mean, obviously a very emotional time for the whole country. We're with you on this. Trust me, we're with you on that.
We're super proud of her. That's what I can say is I'm super, super proud of her for getting ready to vote. And this is my girlfriend, Carolyn.
Yeah.
My grandson just graduated and he's off to college already, and I just want the country to be right.
Yep.
Amen. Anybody else want to say
Big
something?
difference, wasn't it?
Let's go.
Big
I love your shirt over there. Let's go with We the People, huh?
Yeah.
Nice to talk with you.
Thank you.
Hang in there. So your shirt, We the People, 1776. It seems like we've gotten way away from the people being of the people, by the people, and for the people. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, actually, my friend had this shirt for me today. So.
And your thoughts about the shirt, and then also you have the pin there.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about the country right now?
Well, I think we need to get back to we the people, and I think Trump is going to be the one to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it was like that for 4 years at least, right?
It was, and now we can compare, right? We can compare the way we were under Trump and the way we are under Biden. We have a nice comparison, and I think the country thrived, the economy thrived under Trump.
Speaking of Biden stepping down, of course, possibly Harris will be the nominee come August. What are your guys' thoughts about that? Yeah, you didn't know I was coming to you.
Oh.
What do you think about it?
I think the whole thing was calculated.
Yeah?
I do. I am just, let them put whoever they want up there. Trump's our guy, and that's where we're going, and we're going to win.
You know, I think when she says Trump's our guy, I think we can chant Trump's our guy.
Trump's our guy! Trump's our guy! Trump's our guy! Trump's our guy! Yes, our guy! Trump's our guy!
And why is Trump your guy?
Because he is a business person first. He's not a politician. He doesn't say what everybody thinks should be said. He does things right. He gets things done. And that's all that really matters to bring us back. I don't need another politician, no matter what party, but the Democratic Party is the party of just get us all into deeper problems, and they don't care about the people.
100%. If there's a soundbite I've ever heard, it's right there and right here at all of you guys.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys. We'll see you guys hopefully inside. We can take a live look here to the right at all of these people. This is Middletown, Ohio, live on Right Side Broadcasting Network right now as we await JD Vance for his hometown rally here in Middletown. This is the high school that he went to, so you can see the words Middletown High School right there. And I didn't even know, to the videographer, I didn't even know that we have the security that we have right here. So let's take that look once again. We've got two, obviously, it says Medic SWAT on the back, so SWAT team out here with obviously their weapons there for any security that's needed. So yeah, just a lot. Let's go take a live look at that too. It's always good to have, can I see your name on here? All right. Well, it's always good to have our videographer out here because he's able to, or is able to see other things that I might not see because I'm interviewing people and that kind of thing. But let's go. So it's always great to hear the chant, USA chant, as people have been waiting here for a bit. But let's go over here and check out some of the security once again. I mean, this is just a live look of what it feels like to be at an event. So we're going to show you exactly what we see. All right, so we've got Middletown Police to your left here. And then we've got this police rescue unit right here, a SWAT vehicle with the SWAT team member up there. Let's just take a live look at that right here. We see him right there just looking out. So a lot of security out here. A show of force. You know, when I worked in New York City, you'd always see NYPD years ago would drive around with their lights on and about 6 or 7 vehicles, NYPD vehicles, and they were out there showing force, right? Showing that, hey, they're around the city, at least looking for any kind of crime or any kind of certain kinds of stuff. And that's what we're seeing now here at this Middletown, Ohio rally right now. Does anybody love Donald Trump here? Does anybody love JD Vance here? So, well, say, hey, you know what I love about this? This was great. Sir, come on over. This was wonderful. Now, why is everybody laughing right now? I said, who loves Donald Trump here? And we all cheered. And who loves JD Vance? And then what did you say?
Who loves the media here?
And then what happened?
Radio silence.
But who loves, how about this? Who loves conservative media here?
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, there's a difference now, which is surprising, right? Because conservative media hasn't always really been around for that long.
Correct. Well, they've been around, but I feel like that they haven't spoken up very, very much.
Right. Your thoughts about today, I mean, and the media in general?
Today's fantastic. I mean, look at all these, as Hulk Hogan said, all these Trumpites.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just a great day. It's just great to come and celebrate JD Vance and the Trump ticket, and it's just a great day for politics.
Look at all the smiling faces.
I know. Look at them.
So very good stuff. Thank you, sir. That was awesome. That was awesome. Why don't we go over? I tried this in Michigan. That one of the guys did the Hulk Hogan kind of, oh yeah, and so I heard it again. I'm gonna try and get this guy to do it on camera. Let's do this real quick. All right, man. You know what you got to do. On a count of 3, do it. On 1, 2, 3, go. Oh yeah. The guy in Michigan didn't do it, but he was a great guy to talk to. But you did. So, what was it like to watch a speech by Hulk Hogan and the CEO of UFC, Dana White, and then of course President Trump?
It was awesome to see him. Hogan brought energy. Yeah. White brought energy. It was awesome to watch.
I'm thinking of also Ben Carson had an awesome speech. Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr., everybody. It was awesome, wasn't it?
Yep, it was excellent.
What did that do for the country, do you think, as we move forward, as we may face Kamala Harris?
I think it energized the base, bringing energy.
Do you think that the left-wing media is going to try and highlight, oh my gosh, it's Harris as the possible nominee for like try and steal headlines from really what's happening?
Yeah, that's what the media's going to want Kamala Harris, right? And so they're going to hide everything else that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we're not going to.
Nope. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, so let's keep cruising that way here in Middletown, Ohio. Once again, this is Matthew Alvarez with Right Side Broadcasting Network. We're going to throw it to Bobby McNeely, who's been in the studio. He was doing coverage as well for the Secret Service director being on Capitol Hill, being questioned there. As we continue to see the front of the entrance here, let's take a look here at this officer and this SWAT team guy just coming through right now here in Middletown, Ohio. A lot of patriots here, a lot of people, everybody waving. But again, the crowd just continues on. So I do want to talk to you about one of our great sponsors, the Wellness Company. So that emergency kit that you see on your screen, it's the Z-Pak, ivermectin, amoxicillin, and more. You can get that by going to makecaregreatagain.com. You can save 15% off by using that promo code RSBN. This kit is something to have. I mean, think about it. The bacteria, the viruses, if you're on the road like we are and like we have been, or if you're at the house or at your workplace, having the Wellness Company's emergency kit. I remember talking to Vanessa Broussard last week while I was in studio with her for the RNC coverage. She has one of these kits. I mean, it's a great thing to have, and you'll fill out a medical form to make sure you get the right kind of prescriptions, and it'll be great to check it out. MakeCareGreatAgain.com. MakeCareGreatAgain.com. You're watching live coverage here in Middletown, Ohio. It's a Monday in the summer, but nobody is slowing down when it comes to what's happening in the next 3 months and about 14 days, which will be the United States general election. November 5th, of course. President Trump leading in the polls, especially here in the Buckeye State. I'm going to look at some statistics that I was researching about the state of Ohio, of course. I know that, back in the day, it was always the way Ohio went, so did the country. But right now, we know that Ohio's actually not usually listed as one of those 7 swing states, but still, at the end of the day, a lot of electoral votes. I'm double-checking my statistics on that. I believe that it is 14 this year for the state of Ohio. So let me get that so I don't report incorrect information. But as we know, this is JD Vance's hometown rally, so the vice presidential nominee, as we continue to bring you live coverage at 1:30. That's when JD will take the stage. As you see, a huge crowd along this area. Let's take a live look here as I look on my notes here to figure out the information that I researched earlier. But I would say that there is some serious reaction coming from MAGA Inc. about the possibility of Kamala Harris being the nominee on the Democratic side. So let's see here. I know I researched this last night, but I, for some reason, don't have it in my phone. But I think it is 14 electoral votes. So I'm having one of our videographers help out with that statistic. But again, the polls, regardless if it's the Rasmussen or Poly Market or Interactive Polls, President Trump leading in all of the swing states there. And a little bit more about JD Vance as well. Again, 39 years old, vice presidential candidate and now nominee. Went to Middletown High School. This is the high school behind us here. And he was a former Marine, and then he also served in the Marines in the Iraq War as well. So a lot of military experience there with JD. And, of course, a pick there by President Trump as he goes with the full-on ticket now. We've got the Trump-Vance 24 ticket. And, again, if I can find that pin from before, I don't know where it's at. I've got so many things in my pocket right now, but it's a very cool pin that says Trump Vance 24. Why don't we go back this way, interview some more people, and take a live look here in Middletown, Ohio. Kind of a nice day out, a little bit more humid than it was in Michigan, and I did find the pin, so I do want to show that to you. Here, it's the Trump Vance 24 pin for sale here at the Middletown, Ohio event. How you doing, sir?
Good. Love Right Side Broadcast.
And we love you. How you doing?
Appreciate it.
What's your name?
Billy Beck.
All right, Billy. You from here?
Franklin, yeah. 5-10 minutes down the road.
Okay, so Franklin is also, isn't there a Franklin? I'm thinking Tennessee right now, man. We've been traveling so much right now, man.
You're everywhere.
Your thoughts about being here in Ohio, man?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's a huge crowd. I mean,
it is a huge crowd
for the amount of people here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I am surprised. We've been here since about 8:30 in the morning, waiting. Can't wait to see. Support Trump and Vance. What happened in Butler was terrible. I don't know what to say about that, but hopefully it don't happen on either side anymore.
Exactly. Did you watch the speech in Grand Rapids the other day with President Trump, and JD was on the stage too?
I did.
What were your thoughts about how electrifying that was in that arena?
I've been to several concerts, and I wanted to feel that, so here I am.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I mean, it's exactly what it's like. I looked on my decibel app. It said 101.1 decibels when President Trump took the stage. And I calculated that, I think, right after the peak of that. So it was like a little bit on a downslope. So it might have been even like 105.
Right.
The point that's happening for politics.
Right. It's amazing. Yeah, you'd think you was at a Michigan-Ohio State football game.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But also, before we get off here, I just want to add that I really appreciate you guys not spinning things.
Right.
I like that you just report.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah.
And that's what we need all the way around.
And we talk to, you and I are the same. We are Americans in this country.
Yeah.
We the people together.
Yeah, we are.
And I just happen to have a microphone and you're talking. It's pretty awesome, yeah?
And I appreciate you letting me.
Thank you, sir. You're awesome, man. Thanks, guys. Anybody else want to say anything quick? I like that not today. Yeah, I like that shirt, though, right there. Nice shirt as well. Let's show that shirt right here. Fight, 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 Trump 2024. Since you guys all have red baseball hats on, why don't you step over here? I want to show you guys something real quick. Now, the St. Louis Cardinals were playing. Any baseball fans here at all? We like the Reds. Oh, the Reds. Yeah, Cincinnati Reds. So in I think it was Pittsburgh, the St. Louis Cardinals, they hit a home run, right? The guy goes around the bases. He puts his one fist in the air, his other hand covering his ear. The guys in the dugout do the same thing, and they're chanting, fight, fight, fight. I'm going to show the people back home real quick that image here. Then I want to show it to you guys. I want you guys to react to that. So this is the image right here. You can see the St. Louis Cardinals doing that. All right, so this is the image. There they are. You see them?
Yeah. That's awesome.
What do you guys think about that?
Fight, 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 fight. That's what I think.
It's the Trump salute. I mean, because that's what he did right here. He said it right there. Fight, fight, fight. Why did you get that shirt, sir?
It's fight. That's what it's about. Right there. Yep.
So
that's it. That's our guy.
Yeah.
That's our guy.
Yeah.
He's a fighter. He's not doing this for himself. He's not doing it for the money, the power. He just wants to make a difference in America, and that's what we believe in.
Amen. Good stuff, guys. You want to chant it one more time, and we'll get moving.
Fight, 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 fight.
Yeah. Thanks.
Good stuff, guys. So, yeah, I mean, St. Louis Cardinals, big shout out to that Major League Baseball organization. If you guys remember, you'd have to really been paying attention when I was in Grand Rapids the other day. I was talking about how I love to buy baseball hats. That's just what I like to do, right? You like to collect things. I like to buy new era baseball hats, and I'd like to get that St. Louis Cardinal hat. Now that I saw what happened there in Pittsburgh the other day, get that hat right there. So let's go to the free Trump book real quick. That is one of our great sponsors as well. So it's freetrumpbook.com. You can get that, just a small shipping and handling fee, but instead of the indoctrination that's going on at a number of schools around the country, why not get the truth about what President Trump's about and what he did between 2016, took office in 2017, all the way until 2021. You can get all of that information through the free Trump book. So freetrumpbook.com. Again, we're live here in Middletown, Ohio. Matthew Alvarez, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to walk the crowd a little bit, and then we're going to take a look at the end of the line here as we await JD Vance, the senator from Ohio, and the vice presidential nominee. Of course, that just happened just last week at the RNC. So JD, by the way, is James David, for those of you wondering. JD is James David Vance. Again, 39 years old, a graduate from Middletown High School and Ohio State University, where he got his degree in political science and philosophy. The Ohio senator also penned his memoir, The Hillbilly Elegy. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And And that memoir is a book about Appalachian values of his Kentucky family, and along with the various social and economic problems of his hometown. So that was the book that he wrote. So we're going to ask some people here what they think about Joe Biden dropping out of the race. Anybody want to say anything about that?
I'm not shocked at all. I mean, the dude couldn't even speak a full sentence without falling asleep or mumbling. Dude's just a true idiot. I mean, I'm glad he's finally out of office. I'm glad to have Trump back and have someone who's a Christian run this country. I'm proud of that.
Anybody else? Any thoughts about Joe Biden stepping down here? Anybody here? Where? Go ahead, sir.
In my mind, he dropped out in 2020. He never was engaged, and everybody knows it. Right. I mean,
yeah. So he was kind of checked out anyway, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody else running the show.
True. Yeah. We know it.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep on walking. Thanks, guys. Thanks. All right. So we're gonna keep looking at the huge crowd here in Middletown. What's up, man? What are your thoughts about everything?
Oh, with Joe Biden dropping out?
Sure.
I would say one thing, it's a bit concerning because, it's like, yeah, we kind of have more of an idea of what we're dealing with when it comes to Joe, but whoever they get next, then it's kind of like maybe they could get behind him a bit more possibly, the whole vote blue, no matter who kind of thing. Right. But I was going to say one big thing is we may have underestimated Joe, or at least they weren't voting for Joe, they were voting against Trump, and that's kind of something it was a concern, and it's just like...
So you're sporting the MAGA hat. Why do you wear this hat proudly right now?
Oh, I just picked it up down the way, and it's all right.
Yeah, it is all right. Where are you from, man?
Westchester.
Awesome. First ever kind of political event like this for you?
For the most part, yeah.
So what are you expecting to see today when it comes to the senator up there?
Tough to say. Maybe the usual speech, I'd imagine, and maybe, meet and greet, shake hands, stuff, kind of like that.
Some good energy too.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thank you so much.
Been a pleasure.
See you guys. Thanks. So, yeah, a lot of people here from Middletown, Ohio, and other areas. Where's everybody from here? Monroe. All right. Texas. Why don't you stand up if you're from Texas, man? Are you here by yourself? Are you here with the family, or? Oh, okay, cool. So you're visiting, obviously, Ohio. Are you from Ohio then?
We live in Middletown, about a mile and a half away from here.
So, all right, cool. So he's from Texas. That's kind of cool. What are your thoughts about Ohio right now, and also, about to see JD Vance?
Ohio's pretty nice. Won't lie. I walked out this morning. I thought it was pretty cold. She said that it wasn't that cold. And I'm excited to see JD Vance. This line needs to move. That's what it really needs to do.
No, I hear you. Are you surprised to see the amount of people here?
No, really. I won't lie. I thought it would be. I really did think it was just for the eyes. Whoa. As long as you could see, you'd see just people all down the street.
Yeah, I hear you. And your thoughts about the amount of people here in Middletown right now? I mean, when we rolled up, we didn't know what to expect. We knew there'd be a lot of people, but this is a ton of people.
Good hometown people stick with their hometown boy. I mean, what can you say? He did good, and we're all proud of him. We want to give him a good send-off.
Yeah, amen. So moving forward, we've got about three months and maybe 20 days until the election. What are your thoughts and concerns right now?
Oh, my gosh. I don't even know what to think. I mean, what's going on the left, who knows? Yeah. And if he's not able to run, how is he able to run the country? I mean, it's scary to think of what could happen.
Did you see President Trump's Truth Social post at all? Because what you just said was exactly what he posted today.
I honestly didn't. Yeah. We've been up and ready for this since like 7:30 this morning. So, yeah, I really haven't been on except to post that we're here.
Yeah.
So.
And how excited are you to be here?
I'm very excited. Very, very excited. Awesome. Yeah, we just live right down the street. We got here, at 9:15 or so.
Awesome. And when you see security like this walking by, how do you feel about that?
I'm so glad. I feel so secure. And I think it should always be like that with our candidates.
Right.
On each side, really.
Yeah, exactly. All right, thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Yeah, you too. All right, so we're going to keep on walking here. We've got well more than 600 people, of course, because 600 is what I'm hearing is the amount that can fit inside this auditorium. So we'll have a live camera outside. Oh, go ahead. I hear you over here. See, you know what? Just because it's the morning, we got to wake up a little bit. Or let's see, what time is it here on the East Coast at this point? We've been traveling so much. It is, all right, so it's 11:59, so it is morning for one more minute. All right, so as we go to the noon hour, what chant do you guys want to do here? USA? All right. Oh, I like fight too. How about this? How about I'll go 1, 2, 3. We'll go USA first, then fight, fight, fight. All right, here we go. USA first, then fight, fight, fight. 1, 2, 3.
USA! 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 Fight! 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 Fight!
There you go. So from Michigan to Ohio, of course, you're hearing all those chants. Obviously, I started that one, but these are chants that happen by themselves, organically. But you know what? I like to be able to chant as well. Why not? It's freedom of speech, right? Freedom of the press. And let me just say one thing real quick before we throw to the commercial. Obviously, when there's news reporting and anchoring and hosting, when there's specific news details to share, I'm definitely that news guy too. But when it comes to this is we the people. We're all common sense Americans, and we desire the truth. So when there's an op-ed, there's op-eds all the time on all the networks, all the newspapers, and people write their things or say their things. Well, I have a right as well as an American, and so does everybody at the network, I believe, to share their personal opinion. And that's part of Right Side Broadcasting Network's whole goal as well, is to let commentators do that. But the main goal, of course, is to see President Trump and to hear from we the people. So from the people to the president, we have you covered. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Matthew Alvarez. We're going to be going to Bobby McNeely here after this commercial break. We've got live coverage from JD Vance's hometown rally in Middletown, Ohio. We'll be right back.
I'm excited to announce my all-new mattress topper. In the times we're in, I wanted to bring you the best affordable mattress topper ever. So I took my two best technologies and combined them to make the ultimate mattress topper. And now you can get it for as low as $69.98. Queen size, only $99.98. It all starts with my famous MyPillow foam that provides you that overall full body support. Second is the individual comfort supports that give you an amazing custom sleep experience. It's like it's made specifically for you. The queen size alone has over 14,000 comfort supports. This is the perfect mattress topper to improve any bed. New bed, old bed, your guest beds. Get them for every bedroom in your house. Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the all-new My Mattress Topper for as low as $69.98. Queen size, only $99.98. Don't delay, order today.
What's up, guys? My name is Jaden Hurd, and I'm the host of the Let It Be Heard show here on RSBN channel. I would love for you guys to check me out. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Rumble, YouTube. We release episodes every single week regarding culture, Bible, social issues, politics, current events, anything. So if you're into any of that stuff, I highly recommend you check me out. God bless you guys, and stay safe out there.
You ask and we listen. We're finally bringing the most requested offer ever. Get the queen size premium MyPillow, now only $19.98. MyPillow is made with patented adjustable fill. It adjusts to your exact individual needs regardless of your sleep position. It helps keep your neck aligned and holds its shape all night long so you get the best sleep of your life. But that's not all. Get our 6-piece kitchen or bath towel sets, only $25. Our brand new mattress topper as low as $69.98. Get our famous MyPillow bed sheets for as low as $25 and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get huge discounts on all MyPillow products, including the premium queen size MyPillow, only $19.98. That's the lowest price ever. Don't delay, order today. From all of us here at MyPillow, thanks America!
Welcome to the Right Side Broadcasting Network. We're not like the other media outlets out there that cut and edit what other people say. In 2015, we were created by our founder, Joe Seals, to cover President Donald J. Trump's speeches and rallies, to which we continue to do to this day. We've also covered important conservative events like CPAC, TPUSA, March for Life, and many other important events and hearings around the country. We were made for people like you, everyday Americans who are tired of the mainstream media, who are tired of being lied to, manipulated, and fed an agenda. Our goal here at Right Side Broadcasting is to allow you to see the truth, giving our correspondents and commentators a wide latitude to speak their minds. You won't find anything like this in the mainstream media. Your support through your donations, locals, and supporting our advertisers allows us to continue to cover important events around the country each and every day. So, from us here at Right Side Broadcasting, thank you for supporting us and the right side of history.
And welcome back to the studio. Right Side Broadcasting, Bobby McNeely live in Auburn, Alabama. Thank you to Matthew Alvarez for all the exciting coverage in Middletown, Ohio, the hometown of Senator JD Vance, holding his first solo MAGA rally at his alma mater. I talked earlier in the hours this morning. Wow, what an incredible time to come back to your high school to have an exciting reunion in that regard. Some people get invited for their career contributions, and Senator JD Vance, just being 39 years old, a millennial, will be 40 on August 2nd, his birthday coming up here, being welcomed home to Middletown, Ohio as the Republican vice presidential nominee. An exciting time for him and his family, and really to get the microscope of, this is perhaps a job that you really have to look into someone's background before someone is selected. So from Hillbilly Elegy, the book, to his service as a Marine in Iraq and Afghanistan, and then also his graduation, his undergrad from The Ohio State University, and JD from Yale University. JD got his JD at Yale University, of course, meeting his beautiful wife, Usha, there while studying at Yale, and talking about how unlikely he was to accomplish such a feat as that at an Ivy League school, given his upbringing, his background. His mother was a drug addict, and a moving, inspirational moment at the RNC when she was looking up from the presidential box, looking on her son accepting the Republican Party's nomination for vice president, and just with a mother's love and tears in her eyes saying, "I love you, JD." So a very special, touching moment for the Vance family, and excited to see what he has to say today and his comments at his first solo MAGA rally, his hometown of Middletown, Ohio. Also, other interesting news happening today. We have the continued U.S. Oversight Committee hearing on, with Secret Service Director Cheadle regarding the security failures that clearly took place in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th. Sadly, that not only leading to injuries of two other people, but Corey Campator, the fireman, the girl dad, the father and husband, who shielded his family but sadly lost his life at the MAGA rally. We have Chairman James Comer of Kentucky, Ranking Member Jamie Raskin on that committee as well, asking important questions. Some of the early coverage of it showing that some are really trying to get into the meat and bones of what is taking place within the Secret Service. Just a few answers early on by Director Kimberly Cheadle were very interesting. Many times saying she's not going into details, specific, fairly easy questions, especially from Congressman Jim Jordan regarding staffing numbers, regarding a report that this was a backup force or a less trained force. She doesn't seem to really be going into that. And of course, it's creating some fodder and some fireworks at that specific hearing today on Capitol Hill. One of the interesting notes was that Cheadle, the Director Cheadle, had stated there is a difference between a suspicious person and a threatening person, and that her Secret Service detail, her units, would not allow President Trump to go on stage if it was of threatening status. So that's an interesting thing to correlate and to examine, given that they had sight of this man on the rooftop, but clearly was a suspicious actor, as the Secret Service has detailed that, but wasn't threatening at the time. So that may explain why they had a scope on him but did not act until there were shots fired. But we will be getting more details on that. Of course, the shooter was only 150 yards away from President Trump. We have live footage again from Middletown, Ohio, where Senator JD Vance is returning to his alma mater, Middletown High School, for a speech today for his first solo MAGA rally in his hometown. Great footage on the part of our crew and Mr. Matthew Alvarez. I call him the magnificent Matthew Alvarez, live and talking to the folks waiting for their chance to get in. And now, as we've seen ever since Butler, Pennsylvania, which was outside, Grand Rapids, Michigan on Saturday, and Middletown, Ohio today, these are inside venues, and it looks as if we will maybe go that direction for the campaign. For security details, it's easier to control certain flows, certain things that are happening on the inside of a building for Secret Service and local detail. And Matthew getting great coverage of the SWAT teams that are out there, the emergency units. And again, God bless everyone in uniform who go so out of their way. They choose, this is not just a career for them, this is a vocation to protect their fellow citizens and those who are elected by the people, for the people, to make sure that we have no threats on our democracy and that we peacefully and patriotically gather. And you see people there today. Matthew got great coverage of a gentle lady who was literally in tears, someone who really was not inspired by any politics until the recent cultural events. And she simply said, I have grandkids and I want them to be raised like I was raised, in the greatest country in the world. So the events of Butler, Pennsylvania, clearly not deterring the MAGA faithful and the rally goers, some their first event, others multiple event goers, many Ohio State Buckeyes fans, and some St. Louis Cardinals fans too. We'll dive into what the St. Louis Cardinals were doing just the other day, as much as that pains me being a Chicago Cubs fan. But we would like to thank our sponsors for putting us on the air today to get this great coverage that you're seeing live outside of Middletown High School in Ohio, to you, the American Patriots, and that is Birch Gold. If you weren't following the news, there's been a massive hit on the U.S. dollar. Just came in June when the Saudi Arabian government has chosen to do business with the BRIC nations, and that's mostly Brazil, China, India, among others. They did not renew its 50-year petrodollar agreement with the United States. This was a change of the gold standard foreign policy that the Nixon administration changed under the leadership of Henry Kissinger. Something we could debate and probably discuss for hours on our station. But the petrodollar led to U.S. dominance on a global scale. That has now changed with the Biden administration. So how are you to protect yourself? Well, you have a great option with Birch Gold. So text Trump to 989898, and literally, as it says on the screen, build a wall around your IRA or 401k. Convert that, if necessary, to gold, silver, and precious metals. So get this free gift right here. It's the Birch Gold Info Kit. It'll detail everything. It's got great commentary by our friends Ron Paul, Stephen Bannon, also Dan Bongino, who was on the Clinton and Obama details, a wealth of knowledge on the Secret Service. But we are excited to and grateful for Birch Gold to be one of our sponsors on today's telecast to bring this wonderful coverage to you. Text Trump to 989898. Diversify your portfolio with gold and precious metals. And you see here in Middletown, Ohio, more coverage of the line. Looks like a beautiful day in Middletown, slightly overcast, but the sun is shining. And as you know, Matthew Alvarez and our crew have been road warriors ever since that global tech outage that caused 965 flight cancellations, over 1,200 delays, some people just getting back now. I was speaking with a neighbor yesterday who used to be a flight attendant. She said she's happily retired now, doesn't have to travel, but she had a friend who was doing a Japan trip for 3 days, and that has turned into 7. And of course that affects everybody, whether it's child care, pet care, and just the things you have to do around your house, townhouse, condo, or apartment. So God bless those who are on the road, and that includes our colleagues, road warriors, who've been throughout the Midwest, driving through 7 states to get to the Grand Rapids, Michigan rally, and now to the Middletown, Ohio rally. Nonstop action, 2 planes. Trump Vance, the 2024 Republican ticket, which is set in stone. Something not clear, though, for the Democratic Party. It was announced yesterday at 1:46 via tweet, via Twitter, or X, if you now like to call it X. President Biden will no longer be seeking his delegates. He has dropped out of the 2024 race, something eerily reminiscent to 1968 when Lyndon B. Johnson dropped out before the March primary in Wisconsin, seeing that his polling numbers were not going well and seeing that he might be in 3rd place against Eugene McCarthy and Mr. McGovern, George McGovern, who had run for the nomination. Later, his vice president, Hubert Humphrey, would join that race in April 27th, specifically of 1968, and go on to receive the Democrat nomination for president. And then we know in 1968, former Vice President Richard Nixon would not only receive his 2nd nomination from the Republican Party, but go on to be elected our 37th president. You know, in that time, too, I was reading about the Democrat National Convention in Chicago in 1968, which it will be in Chicago in just a short month now. The leaders of the Yippies, it was an acronym for the Youth International Party, led by Abby Hoffman and Jerry Rubin. You know, a great film that Netflix put out. It was called The Chicago 7. It's a great take on what took place there. Many far left groups who battled with police officers, a different time, but similar how seemingly history repeats itself at times, where you had a conflict, the Vietnam War, extremely unpopular, and a embattled president who was pushing it, mismanaging it, just as President Joe Biden has mismanaged the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the conflict in the Middle East. 4 short years ago, we had the Abraham Accords, we had peace through strength, we had President Donald Trump, who was unafraid to make clear to friends and foes, this is where the United States of America stands, and if you poke the bear, be careful. It was peace through strength. It was President Ronald Reagan's policies, very similar to the MAGA movement, the populist items that were just put on paper. 20 promises at the Republican National Convention, about 16 pages or so, not the normal hundreds of pages that you see in D.C., whether it's congressional bills or whether it's these lobbyists who cram ideas all into one document. This was Vice President JD Vance, his career, his work as a senator in Ohio, his upbringing in Appalachia. Those experiences have now turned into policies. Same with President Trump, who for 4 years fought for that from the White House, who intends to as well, has been clearly laid out, especially in the last few days as they had their joint rally in Michigan. They called it MAGA in Michigan, Grand Rapids, and a short drive, considering our team out in the field, Matthew Alvarez and crew, have been road warriors, and now you're seeing the live footage in Middletown, Ohio. A beautiful, beautiful day. Green fields just outside of Senator JD Vance's hometown and alma mater. Very exciting, I'm sure, for him, very nostalgic. But we're also watching as the U.S. House Oversight Committee, led by Chairman James Comer, Ranking Member Jamie Ratskin, is underway as they're questioning Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle on the failures of what took place the other day, just a little over a week ago now, in Butler, Pennsylvania. A very sad day. Corey Campitor protected his family. He was a firefighter in the area. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family still and the others that were injured as a result of the attempted assassination of President Donald Trump. A scary, dark day in American history, but what now has turned into hope, prayer, peaceful unity. And RNC, as Van Jones put it on CNN, something not as exciting as of a convention since perhaps 2008 in Denver, Colorado for then Senator Obama, who then became the 44th president of the United States. And of course, his running mate then was Joe Biden. Joe Biden yesterday, there's not a formal Rose Garden ceremony. He's at his beach house in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, instead releasing on Twitter, and I was struck by just the letterhead, Joseph R. Biden Jr., no insignia of the presidency, no American flags, no official detail, official notation being from Washington, D.C. whatsoever, just a simple tweet on paper that at 1:46 p.m. yesterday on a Sunday afternoon, deciding to leave the 2024 race, leaving a vacancy shortly after that, tweeting that he has endorsed his running mate, Vice President Kamala Harris, to seek the nomination. And very interesting there, roughly 174 Democrat leaders in the House who are super delegates for the DNC endorsing Kamala Harris to be the next president of the United States. That includes James Clyburn, who most see is the kingmaker, the gentleman who coronates those who are going to serve in this position. He has quite a pull in the Democrat ranks. He's a congressman from South Carolina, also in leadership in the House, endorsing Kamala Harris. Bill and Hillary Clinton jumping on that bandwagon as well. But notable vacancies, former President Obama, Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, Senator Chuck Schumer, the majority leader from New York, Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader in the House, also from New York, and of course Nancy Pelosi, former Speaker of the House, refusing to make any endorsements at this point, but clearly, according to Politico, were pulling the leverages of power within their party, stating that it's over for Joe Biden and that they were going to do this a clean and calm route, and that this week would have been an uphill battle if Joe Biden had so chosen to remain in the race. And Mr. Producer, I believe you wanted me to run the wellness company. Wonderful. The wellness company. My friends, we don't have a healthcare system in America. We have a stay sick system. And that's because of big pharmaceuticals who make billions of dollars. And that's correct. I said billions of dollars, making sure they keep you sick and not safe. So Dr. Drew Pinsky and Dr. Peter McCullough, two brave doctors who have dedicated their lives to helping folks become better, to actually heal them, who have been canceled themselves, who have testified before the Texas Senate and have been vocal opponents to what's happening from the bureaucracies, from people like Dr. Anthony Fauci. They've created this great pack of ivermectin, Z-Pak, amoxicillin, 8 drugs that will actually help you in crisis, whether it be viruses, bacterias. You can take this out hiking. You can leave this in the back of the car. You can leave it at your home to keep yourself safe. Vanessa Broussard, our great anchor here at RSBN, has one herself. I'm going to buy one this week because I keep talking about it, and I'm more and more convinced that if you go to makecaregreatagain.com, you'll save 15%. Use code RSBN. Very easy to remember. This kit is prescription only, so you will find it, nothing else like it, in a store, in a pharmacy, and every American should have at least one of these kits at home to be self-reliant, to be safe. So please go to makecaregreatagain.com. Code RSBN for 15% off. The Wellness Company, thank you for sponsoring us, and thank you for caring so deeply for Americans and being such great professionals. Dr. Drew Pinsky, Dr. Peter McCullough, good friends of our network. And we're back live in Middletown, Ohio. Senator JD Vance, the Republican vice presidential candidate, set to speak at his hometown alma mater at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A beautiful day in Ohio. You know, as they say, so goes Ohio, so goes the nation, but recently it's become a more solid Republican state, mostly due to MAGA populist policies. He was in a tight race for the United States Senate in 2022 against Congressman Tim Ryan. It was interesting to see how even Tim Ryan bucked his party to a certain extent, holding on to the last lineage of the blue dog Democrats that emerged in the early 2000s as fiscal conservatives. Congressman Tim Ryan not able, though, to hold off the real-life inspirational story Hillbilly Elegy, a book and now movie by Senator JD Vance, highlighting his upbringing in Appalachia, his unlikely rise to not only graduate from The Ohio State University, but to get his Juris Doctor, his JD Vance, getting his JD from Yale University, an Ivy League school where he met the love of his life, Usha. She actually is pretty impressive herself. She went on to clerk for Chief Justice John Roberts, and we got to meet the family on full display. One of the most touching stories from the RNC was when Senator Vance got the call from President Trump to be his running mate. President Trump spent about several minutes on the phone with JD's 7-year-old son. So what a special moment, a moment that the senator said he will not soon forget, probably remember forever, the generosity and the gentleness that President Trump showed to his son in that moment. You may be asking who will be the Democrats. The Democrats are not united. The Republicans clearly are, and regardless of how you feel on policy, this will be a very interesting next few days, next few months. You had 14 million people vote for President Joe Biden in the primary. How do those 14 million people now feel? How long did the White House conceal the clearly the dementia-ridden president, a president who has slowed down? And our thoughts and prayers are always with, we want the best for everyone. We want the Bidens to live happy, healthy lives, just as the Trumps are. But what's sad is you have to think about, where was Jill Biden through all this? Did she not see her husband declining? Why would she put him out there in the limelight when he's clearly been making mistakes? And that was most on display at that June 27th debate between President Trump and between President Biden. And President Trump mentioned, I don't think you know what you're talking about. You sound like you don't know what you're talking about. And then he goes on to endorse an extreme policy, a radical policy that's really built into his own vice president. Kamala Harris is someone who supported the Minnesota Freedom Fund. That organization, supported by many celebrities as well, fought to release the people who caused the BLM riots, who caused the tumultuous times that led to many people being harmed, many people being injured, mini insurrections, if you will. Famously, CNN in Wisconsin, with what happened up there, there was a big fire that broke out in Kenosha. We remember those horrible scenes and the people who were harmed and injured there. And the reporter saying, this is a mostly peaceful protest, as fire was right behind him. Why would you support criminals and thugs? It seems like it's a big part of their platform. It seems like they don't believe in law and order, but we will see now if Vice President Kamala Harris will be coronated to take the nomination as President of the United States, the nomination from her party, the Democrats. But that will be interestingly enough, we'll see how that unfolds. USA Today reporting that Governor Gavin Newsom has endorsed Kamala Harris, some others that might have been rivals of her, but we'll see as this develops. And there's more to speak on with several people. As we saw in 1968, the Democrat National Convention, Eugene McCarthy, George McGovern attempted to unseat a sitting Democrat president. Also, may he rest in peace, Robert F. Kennedy Sr. as well, before he was assassinated. A tumultuous summer of love, 1968, of civil unrest, of questions as to really where was our American experiment going. Correlations to now in 2024 with people who are not about law and order. Back in and this was controversial back in 1968, but Mayor Richard J. Daley, the boss, who wanted to keep President Johnson in place, who was very pro-Vietnam War, famously came out and said, shoot to kill, shoot to maim. He declared martial law in his city as far-left protesters and those who were just seeking to protest Vietnam at the time, all varying degrees of different ideologies, mostly far left. As I mentioned, the Yippies group who was out there led by the notorious Abby Hoffman. Mayor Daley said, look, the line is drawn here. This is the line in the sand. No more civil unrest, no more violence. And arguably the police went very hard there. It was very controversial. We don't see that in the modern Democrat Party. They are anti-police. They are anti-law and order. People have died because of Democrat policies in the last several years. This is namely on the border issues. This has to do with police orders and not supporting the police. And we saw that just 4 short years ago as civil unrest happened throughout the United States. And fortunately, in the last few days, you did not see that with MAGA rally attendees. You didn't see those who are going, as we get a clear shot now. Once again, we're following the big line. These things are so fun to cover because it is full of so much love, and you get to meet people you never met before, neighbors, friends, people who travel from all over to come to these different events. And for President Trump and for those who cover it here at Right Side Broadcasting, we were just struck by the fact that no one scattered in that crowd in Butler, Pennsylvania. People stood their ground. We saw video of patriots notifying local police, hey, there's someone on the roof. There's someone there who's looking like it's not normal, maybe intending to do harm. No one running, no one trampling anyone, and we're so thankful that most were safe, but very sad that several were injured. And of course, Corey Campitor, we can't say his name enough, an American hero, a firefighter. And we also thank Governor Josh Shapiro on the Democrat side of the aisle, who was actually moved to tears and mentioned that he was a girl dad and that America lost a hero, a Pennsylvania hero, a firefighter who shielded his family from those shots. A terrible day for America, but the last few days, resilience, hope, prayer, and excitement, and clearly people no longer worried about going to a MAGA rally. It's always interesting to see what happens as a result of scary times, and clearly those who are attending today are resilient and not backing down, peacefully and patriotically, of course. It was interesting to see Matthew caught some footage with rally goers today of the St. Louis Cardinals throwing out the fight, fight, fight. Some on that team, there seems to be this cultural phenomenon happening of covering the left ear and throwing up the fist, and seeing the St. Louis Cardinals getting in on that. And it's somewhat painful for me personally. I'm a big Chicago Cubs fan. Of course, I wish the Cardinals well. They always make it interesting and exciting. A great Midwest rivalry, and the Midwest clearly in full display today. And as we go on throughout this campaign, I mentioned that Senator JD Vance is an interesting pick for President Trump. Of course, the Republicans have such a deep bench compared to the Democrats on the other side of the aisle. And I think that Senator JD Vance brings out 3 things that will only help and highlight President Trump's policy. One being his age. He is a millennial. He's a young Republican. The Young Republican National Federation putting out a statement celebrating our beautiful... Oh, and Mr. Producer just spoke in my ear. We are going to Ohio live right now to meet up with Matthew Alvarez right on the ground. And we'll send...
Great nation. Lord, we're thankful for the Christian heritage of our founding fathers. But Lord, we're humbled by your continued blessings on America, and we thank you for your loving kindness. Lord, as we gather here today, I believe we're on the precipice of a new era, an opportunity, Lord, to return our government back to the will of the people. As Alexis de Tocqueville said, America is great because America is good. And if America ever ceases to be good, she'll cease to be great. Lord, we are good because you are good. Lord, we ask that you return us to the values of our founding fathers. Lord, we ask today that you watch over our elected leaders, Lord, that you allow you to guide them in their decisions. Allow you, Lord, to guide them in everything that they do for our country. Lord, we ask that you watch over Senator Vance and President Trump. Lord, we ask that you watch over them and protect them and cover them. We ask, Lord, that you bless them with the same attributes that our founding fathers had. We ask, Lord, that you give them supernatural wisdom, that you give them the courage of their convictions, that you give them the perseverance and the will to follow through so that we can once again be one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless our first responders. God bless our men and women in uniform. God bless Senator Vance and President Trump. And God bless the United States of America. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
To lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, Butler County Auditor Nancy Nix.
Please join me as we pledge to the flag of the greatest that we've ever known. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
And to sing our national anthem, Jessica Rivera Schaefer.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Please welcome to the stage State Senator George Lang.
Fight! 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 We got time. Come on. Hey, we are in the fight for the soul of our nation. We are in a fight for our kids and our grandkids, a fight that we can never imagine. I believe wholeheartedly Donald Trump and Butler County's JD Vance are the last chance to save our country politically. I'm afraid if we lose this one, it's going to take a civil war to save the country, and it will be saved. It's the greatest experiment in the history of mankind. And if we come down to a civil war, I'm glad we got people like Schmitty and the Bikers for Trump on our side. You see, 248 years ago, our forefathers had a vision. They had a plan. They wanted to create a country where you could go where you want to go, do what you want to do, live the way you want to live, pray the way you want to pray, and be whatever it is you want to be. But a liberal element for the last 100 years has been chipping away at our rights, and we are the last stand to save it. Not for us, but for our kids and our grandkids. And the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans right now could never be more evident. The Democrats are in the fight for their life to save their pitiful party. The Republicans, we are in the fight for our life to save our country. And how amazing it is that Donald Trump had the wisdom to pick JD Vance. You see, yeah. JD. Look at their childhoods. They couldn't be any more different. Donald Trump was born to a family of opportunity and entrepreneurialism. JD Vance was born into poverty. Donald Trump had a father who taught him business, who taught him the ways of the world. JD Vance had a mom who, bless her heart, is an amazing individual, was a drug addict. 10 years drug-free, by the way. Yeah. Donald Trump went to high school at the finest military school that the land knows. JD Vance walked the halls of this school that we are standing in right now, Middletown High School. But JD had something. He had one thing Donald Trump did not have. He had a mama. He had a mama. Say it. Mama, 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 mama. His mama taught him values. She taught him hard work. And for every young person that is in here today, get this message. America doesn't care where you start in life. America doesn't care your wealth. They don't care your race. They don't care your religion. America only cares your ability to produce a result. And you've been born in the greatest land that the world has ever known. Take advantage of it, young people. And one more thing I'm going to say about Butler County. Butler County, wow, what an impact we are making. We are home to our former Speaker of the House, John Boehner. We are home to the greatest Chief Justice the state of Ohio has ever had, Supreme Court Judge Sharon Kennedy. A lot of people don't know this. Vivek Ramaswamy spent his early years here. So we are home to one of the greatest entrepreneurs that the planet has known. And finally, we are home to JD Vance. JD, I'm going to finish with this. I know there's amazing entrepreneurs in here. I know Don Aders is in here. Rick Seitz is in here. Angela Phillips, other entrepreneurs. Under Donald Trump and JD Vance, with the help of our entrepreneurs, we will make America wealthy again. Under Donald Trump and JD Vance, and thanks to all the veterans that are here today, we will make America strong again. And you all say it with me, the greatest political line that the planet has ever known. Under Donald Trump and JD Vance, we will make America great again. God bless America.
Please welcome your U.S. Representative, Warren Davidson.
Hey, thank you all so much for turning out in huge numbers to support JD Vance, our next vice president. Thank you all for being here for President Trump. It is an honor to represent this district in Congress. I met JD Vance in 2016 when I was first a candidate for Congress. People heard about me and my background and they said, oh, you got to get to know JD Vance. JD Vance's story is something that resonates with millions of Americans, families like mine. My mom and dad, my dad's from Tennessee, my mom's from Kentucky. Like so many people, hillbillies came up to the west side of Ohio for factory jobs. Keeping hillbillies great. And, my dad's dad died when he was in high school. He worked full-time since he was a sophomore, junior in high school, and his dad died. And you look at the life that JD Vance had, enlisted in the Marine Corps, and it gave him a chance to change his life. It didn't guarantee it. He had to do the work, but it provided the opportunity. And that's what America's about. Not guaranteed outcomes, but guaranteed opportunities. And when you look at JD Vance's story, this is a story that is going to resonate with people, whether you're black or white, rich or poor, people that came from all over the country to find a better opportunity somewhere. For immigrants, you look at JD and his wife. We say politics is a team sport. I'm glad to have my number one teammate, my wife Lisa, in the audience here today. But wasn't that a powerful introduction to see them as a family come onto the stage and JD have the kind of presence? I think this shows a commitment not just to winning this campaign, but to really make America great again, an America First movement that is going to take generations. Look, the far left, the far radical left in the 1960s committed to a long march through the institutions. They've taken them over, and now they're wielding them as weapons against the American public. So Donald Trump nailed it. Drain the swamp. And we know we didn't get it all last time, right? So it's going to have to be aggressive this time and the time after and the time after. It's going to take a long march to reclaim the ground we've surrendered. But here's the deal. Ground you will not defend, you will not hold. So we need to be careful. As conservatives, we're running out of things to conserve. And I think this Donald Trump's message, his alignment with JD Vance, is American first foreign policies. We don't have to get into every war we're invited to. And we certainly don't have to fund the ones that we don't get into. Donald Trump led that way. JD Vance has supported it that way. I think this ticket's incredibly balanced, and it is truly going to make America great again. God bless you all. Thank you for your support.
Please welcome to the stage your Attorney General, Dave Yost.
Are you ready to welcome home JD Vance? He will be here shortly. I'm not going to tell you how bad things are. You already know the way things are here in America. But I am here to tell you that things are about to get better. And one of the reasons I believe that is I know JD Vance. I knew him before he was in politics, before he ever ran for office. I want to tell you a very brief story about interacting with JD. This is after he took office, and you might have heard that on the other end of the state, a little over a year and a half ago, a railroad company called Norfolk and Southern had a terrible train wreck. I mean, literally a train wreck of a train wreck. And there was a toxic spill. They burned off several cars, railroad cars that had toxic chemicals in it. And there was devastation and fear throughout eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania. This happened in a place called East Palestine. Now, as you might expect, all of the politicians descended on that poor little town, other than Joe Biden. I think it happened after 8 p.m., so give him a break there. But J.D. Vance was there and kept coming back. He didn't just have a town hall and meet with the officials. He walked around the town and talked with the people. And when he heard that they're telling us everything's fine and things are cleaned up, but we're still seeing stuff in our creeks, and our pets are still getting sick. JD said, what do you mean you're seeing things in your creek? They said, well, if you stir up the creek bottom with a stick, you'll have all these chemicals come up, and this rainbow sheen will come up in the water. That never used to be there. Now, I'm hearing about this because JD and I worked closely together on this project of trying to bring justice to East Palestine, to try to make it right for them. Well, when he heard about that rainbow sheen, he didn't just take a note or tell his staff person to look into it. He said, show me. And went with the folks that told him out into the field and saw what they were talking about with his own two eyes. We sued my office as the Attorney General. Of course, we speak for Ohio. We went to court and sued Norfolk Southern, and we haven't settled our case, unlike the federal government. We're still trying to get truth, and we're still trying to get justice for the people of East Palestine. What I could tell you is JD Vance, when he's in Washington, D.C., he's pushing the bureaucracy. He's asking the Department of Justice why they're rushing to judgment, rushing into a settlement. He is working with the NTSB, was learning about the causes of the accident and the equipment failures. He dug in. Why? Because he cared about the people in East Palestine. He is going to be a great vice president. And things are going to get better, too, because we're going to retire a man this fall who had been in office since Richard Nixon, a guy named Sherrod Brown. And we have another man who I know who is going to do a great job. He came to this country as a child, did it right from another country, a great American success story. He built his family right here on American soil, infused them with American values of truthfulness and integrity and hard work. They have flourished. He built his own business and was successful at it. I'm going to let him tell you about it, but I watched up close and personal in the primary when they threw him in the oven and closed the door and turned the heat all the way up. This man did not melt. We can trust him to go to Washington, D.C. to take care of our business and not become part of the swamp. Ladies and gentlemen, will you give it up for the next Ohio Senator to the United States Senate, Bernie Moreno?
Wow, that's all I'm going to say. What an amazing day, not just for Butler County, for Ohio, but for America. You know, one of the questions I get when I do national news is, tell me a little bit about JD Vance. Now, of course, they want to delve into the policies, and of course that matters. There's one thing America's going to learn about JD Vance. He's a great human being. We've had enough of these lifelong career politicians that have gone down to Washington, D.C., people like Sherrod Brown, making sure you guys are still awake. There you go. Think about this. Sherrod Brown ran for the first time when Richard Nixon was in the White House. Exactly. This guy's done nothing for Ohio, but he's done a lot for himself. You know, the reality is, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, there's three things that we expect of our national leaders. Make this country stronger, make this country safer, and look out for American citizens before anybody else. Now, the Democrats and the media will say that that's nationalism or populism. Well, if putting the interests of our fellow citizens ahead of illegal immigrants, ahead of foreign countries that hate us, is nationalism or populism, then count me in. But I got one message for all of you here today. The next 5 months are going to be tough. We have 5 tough months ahead of us, 106 days that are really tough. We're sitting here as a fully united Republican Party. The Democrats are in total and complete chaos.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You know, I'm glad that you guys heard that because I hear voices too, but I want to make sure that was one you heard. Anyway, we're a fully united party. The Democrats are in chaos. We're going to have a tough time over the next 5 months because the Democrats knew Joe Biden was incapable of fulfilling his duties as commander-in-chief. We stand here today not knowing who's in charge of this country. That's because of the Democrats' craven desire for power. They could ram through their extreme liberal agenda. So they looked the other way as they put an incapacitated man in the White House. But the cavalry's on the way. But you have a role to play. You gotta leave here ready to do something. That means vote early, vote absentee, get your friends to register to vote, knock on doors, make phone calls, pass out literature, pass out signs, whatever it takes, because all of us united is what it's going to take to save this country. And I'll say one last thing. How proud of you right now that JD Vance is our Republican nominee for the vice presidency. JD, let's hear ya. Thank you.
Never seen him fall. That's their thumb and Blackbeard. Sure plays a mean pinball. I thought I was somebody table king.
Well, there you go. You heard from Bernie Moreno here in Middletown, Ohio. Of course, JD Vance's hometown. This is his hometown rally here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. He will be speaking around 1:30 Eastern. So thank you so much for joining us here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Now, if you remember outside, a huge crowd. I'm not sure if we've got our other videographer there ready to go right now, but a great live kind of look out there as thousands and thousands of people literally showed up for this event. This, I was going to say this arena, but this auditorium can fit about 600 people. There's well over 600 people outside. So obviously a lot of support for the Trump-Vance ticket. This, again, Middletown High School in Ohio, not too far from Cincinnati and Dayton. And earlier, when I was interviewing a number of people outside, there was the electoral votes, and I was thinking that there were 14 electoral votes. It's 17 electoral votes for the state of Ohio. So a lot of people here from this southwestern region of the state, the Buckeye State. A great day here as we just, left from Grand Rapids the other day and traveled down here to Ohio. So Michigan and Ohio, of course, are usually a big rival in football, but when it comes to politics and when it comes to the right wing and the Republican Party, everybody's on the same team. as you have seen here in this auditorium. Before we get to some more commentary, I want to let you know about the Free Trump book, freetrumpbook.com. You'll be able to see that information right there on your screen. This is a great, great book for your friends, for your kids, whoever, because at the end of the day, we know a lot of indoctrination happens at a number of schools. So why not have the Free Trump book kind of reinstall the truth when there's a lot of lies that happen out there? It's always good to hear really what happened between 2016 through 2020 with President Donald Trump. So freetrumpbook.com, a great sponsor, of course, right here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. I'm Matthew Alvarez. Thank you so much for joining us. I know a number of you are watching the live stream with the United States Secret Service director being interviewed in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill about the whole terrible incident that took place some 8 days ago in Butler, Pennsylvania. Those of you that are now watching here as well, JD Vance, the senator from Ohio, will speak at 1:30 Eastern. It is now approaching the 1 o'clock hour here on the East Coast. That's 10 a.m., of course, out there. For those of you waking up or have already been awake for a little bit there on the West Coast. It's a Monday, in the summertime, but this 24/7 news cycle is not quitting. Either will President Trump and JD Vance and the American people, as we saw just the other day in Grand Rapids. What a packed house, a packed arena. Pretty wild stuff there. And Director, can you please let me know if we have a split screen shot of outside with the amount of people there as well? Because inside here at this auditorium, I'll move out of the way real quick and show you just the amount of people just waiting here right now in the Middletown High School. This is a send-off of sorts, as Vance has officially received the vice presidential nomination last week in Milwaukee. Now, 1 o'clock, again, 1:30 will be the speech by the vice presidential nominee. And then he'll board Trump Force 2 and will fly 350 miles to Radford, Virginia. Well, he will hold another rally. Now, James David Vance, he's 39 years old. He's a graduate from Middletown High School and Ohio State University, where JD got his degree in political science and philosophy. The Ohio senator also penned his memoir, Hillbilly Elegy, a book about Appalachian values of his Kentucky family, and along with the various social and economic problems of his hometown. And also earlier today, there was a number of reactions about the current guy that's in the White House, Biden, stepping away from the presidency in the sense of not running for office. But we'll see who the DNC puts in there this coming August. So we've got just about a month away until the DNC decides that in Chicago. So if you are taking a live look right now outside as well on a split screen, what you'll see is a number of people out there hoping to get inside the arena or the auditorium here in Middletown, Ohio. Once again, this is JD Vance's hometown. So you see a wide shot there of the arena. I keep saying arena because the Grand Rapids Arena, guys, was obviously such a huge, impactful event. When President Trump and JD Vance, the vice presidential nominee, took the stage in there, quite an awesome moment. So as we await JD Vance here, I wanted to go through some of his military background as well, as he served as a Marine, but also he was in the Iraq War, served in the Iraq War, and just a great person in the sense of a candidate for the Trump-Vance ticket. So, again, he'll be in Virginia tonight as he continues his campaign stops, first here in his hometown in Middletown, then in Radford, Virginia. Why don't we listen to some live music, or actually some music right now, as we await JD Vance. We're going to see if we can get that other live video outside, and we'll be right back. live here in Middletown, Ohio. This is the Middletown High School. This is where JD Vance went to high school, of course, graduating from here, graduating from Ohio State University. And also, he studied political science and philosophy at Ohio State. So he's slated to speak at 1:30 here in Middletown. We'll be getting a live look outside as well soon with a split screen at the massive, massive crowd. There are two stories, I believe, here in Ohio today. One is, of course, JD Vance taking the stage, and this is his first solo rally that will happen here. 1:30 will be the start time on that. The second story, I believe, is the fact that well more than 600 people, which is the capacity of this auditorium, are outside. You've got a packed arena, a packed auditorium here, but there are thousands and thousands of people outside as well. So it's pretty awesome to see the amount of support here in the state of Ohio right now. So we're going to be going to that live look outside as well. Because, at the end of the day, the amount of support that's happening throughout the country, you're kind of seeing that everywhere you go, whether it's now President Trump or whether it's Senator JD Vance, of course, the vice presidential nominee. We've got just huge crowds because the people are tired of the current situation right now, regardless of who the left may put into office, or in the sense of or put into the nominee to run for office. So we'll see how that goes. Now, as you take that live look outside, there are a lot of people still trying to get in to this auditorium. Look at that crowd right there. The lines continue all the way down to the end of the building, and then around the side there, the sidewalk, all the way to the street. So here's the thing. I hope a lot of people have the RSBN app, or they're watching on Rumble or YouTube, because that's probably the way that we're able to. We're on live right now. Yeah. So you can see just hundreds and if not thousands right there trying to get into this arena, into this auditorium, as we are live. If we can maybe take a split screen of just what it looks like inside versus outside. This place is packed right now here. No real seats available at this point. As you can see now, we've got the shot from outside and inside here at the event. So we're awaiting JD Vance to take the stage. It's 1:08 Eastern. This has been quite the trip from Ohio, from Michigan to Ohio, as we are looking forward to hearing from the vice presidential nominee. Outside, again, a great time with the supporters here in Middletown, not too far from Dayton, not too far from Cincinnati. Once again, Ohio has 17 electoral votes at stake here in this Buckeye state. But, at the end of the day, we see so much support from so many people in this area as we await JD Vance to take the stage. So if you're just now joining us, thank you so much for tuning in. I know there's a lot of coverage with the United States Secret Service Director as well, with the hearing there in Washington on Capitol Hill. So we have a lot of things coming up. We've got the great event coming up on Wednesday. President Trump to be in Charlotte, North Carolina for a huge rally. We'll be starting live coverage there in the morning, and then we'll have coverage throughout the day. I believe it will be Bobby McNeely and Nikki Stanzione live there, so it's going to be a great event, of course, bringing you everything from the people to the president, interviewing the fine folks of North Carolina and that region. As you saw today, we had some interviews. If you missed some of those, you could scrub back a little bit and check it out. I mean, whether it's Michigan or Ohio or North Carolina or any state in the union, Right Side Broadcasting Network, of course, has been there and has interviewed more than 10,000 people at this point after 9 years of working with the rallies and interviewing people. So maybe the number is upwards of 50,000. Who knows? But there's been so many rallies covered by Right Side Broadcasting Network. Of course, we are here for JD Vance's hometown rally. This is his first one solo without President Trump, but this is going to be pretty awesome here because it is a hometown send-off. This is a hometown rally here in Middletown. Once again, this is Matthew Alvarez live as we await JD Vance. I'm going to step on camera here and show you a little bit of the some of the memorabilia and some of the cool swag that is being sold here in this arena right now. Always good to see a Trump Vance 2024 pin right here. A videographer bought this earlier, got actually 3 of them. I said, can I have it? He says, well, you might have to buy your own, because I'm sure he's given it to a number of people, friends and family himself. So always nice to see something like that. So actually, I'll give that back to him right now. Now, we were talking outside with a number of people about the St. Louis Cardinals who have shown the Trump salute. And what I mean by that is in Pittsburgh, the St. Louis Cardinals, when they hit a home run, the guy would run around the bases, put his fist in the air, and with his other hand, he would cover his ear. And then a number of people in the dugout did the same thing. President Trump actually retruthed that, which was on one of the conservative social media outlets, Citizen Free Press. But at the end of the day, that's pretty awesome to see, not only with we the people, but also Major League Baseball players. I think this is going to happen with all of sports, whether it's the Olympics coming up, whether it's basketball or hockey or football, baseball, of course. You're going to see that as just a sign of respect for President Trump and what he went through some 8 days ago in Butler, Pennsylvania. So we go from Pennsylvania, we went to Michigan, of course, with Grand Rapids. Now we're here in Middletown, Ohio for JD Vance. This is the Senator's hometown rally, the vice presidential nominee. Now, speaking of vice president, let's talk about Kamala Harris a little bit. I'm going to read some quotes from MAGA Inc. In regards to their reaction of Harris being the possible nominee for the Democrats come next month in the DNC. Who knows if it will be Harris or someone else, but at this point, as you guys have seen, plenty of support from a number of people in the Democratic Party in leadership positions saying they want Harris. Well, you know what? Again, I'll only read a little bit of this because the headlines, of course, are still the fact that our country is dealing with a lot of problems right now. Of course, that President Trump has huge leads in the polls. And all of the people that are showing up, as we might be able to take a live look outside. Once again, maybe we're seeing that right now, but there's so many people here at this school right now. You've had so many people just in this auditorium already packing it out and upstairs. So it's a double-decker. And then in the lobby, they've set up some screens, but the lobby's not that big, so it's not going to be like a lot of people within this building because this is just what the capacity is of this auditorium. But as you may be looking right now, we might be having a live shot. I don't have a screen here to see that. Maybe we can get a phone here to see that live screen. And we're going to get that set up actually right now so we can take a look at what exactly you're taking a look at. But at the end of the day, we know there are thousands of people that are outside right now. Pretty wild stuff. Pretty awesome to see the amount of love and support as we have some cheering going on here right now. You know, a number of people taking the stage here. Not sure who this is. I can't see from this vantage point. But of course, a lot of love right now here in Ohio. I see the 2024 Trump Vance sign. Somebody made a homemade sign right there. And it looks pretty good, actually. And also the campaign staff have been handing out a number of signs as well. So I know a lot of you, again, are watching the United States Secret Service director who is being questioned by the House Oversight Committee in Washington, D.C. right now as she takes on a number of questions about what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. So in the meantime, while that's going on, you can obviously watch that on maybe on one of the an iPad or a Surface or your phone or your TV, and maybe put on the JD Vance event on a different device in the house or at work. Because there's just a lot of news going on. This is obviously a 24/7 news cycle that's on hyperdrive right now with the amount of things that have been happening from, of course, in Butler, Pennsylvania to President Trump's first rally since in Grand Rapids just 2 days ago. And then, of course, how you doing, sir? Hi, do you have a minute to talk with us? My name is Matthew Alvarez with Right Side Broadcasting Network. How you doing?
Just fine.
What are your thoughts about JD Vance and Donald Trump?
Well, I'm pretty sure they'll get the country back online instead of heading for a depression. So
the fact that you are a military veteran, JD Vance the same way. I mean, the fact that we need some strength back in this country, don't we?
yes, we do. I was 43 years in the military service of the Army, and they need our backing.
Well, I'm about to turn 43 years old, so thank you for your service.
You're welcome. So I'm just going to try to find me a seat now.
All right, thank you, sir. So obviously, just talking with all kinds of people and veterans and a number of people outside earlier. Wonderful to see the amount of people. And if we could take a live look, I'm not sure if we've got that of the outside as well, but it's just quite the day here in Ohio, just 2 days after that epic rally in Grand Rapids, Michigan. What an awesome event that was. And we're just starting out, just a Monday here, right? But on Wednesday, Right Side Broadcasting Network, of course, will be in Charlotte, North Carolina for President Trump's rally there. I do believe JD Vance will be at that event as well. So that would be the second event where both President Trump and Vice Presidential Nominee JD Vance will be in the building. And it looks like it will be a similar vibe to what it was like in Grand Rapids just the other night, because it's a kind of that hockey arena atmosphere. And if it's going to be anything like it was in Grand Rapids, this is going to be quite the campaign cycle as it kicks into high gear right now, because, of course, we had the 2024 RNC, which really kicked things off when President Trump accepted that nomination, and so did JD Vance. So now here in Ohio, a great moment about to happen when JD takes the stage, the senator from this state. Of course, getting into being the senator just last year in 2023, and gets the nod from President Trump as we move forward with the Trump-Vance ticket. And again, as you're seeing that live look out there, so many people here in Ohio. Not going to be able to access the auditorium, unfortunately, for a lot of people out there. But thankfully, with the phones we have these days, people can still watch right here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. We're seeing a lot of security as well out there. I mean, we're talking SWAT is out there, state police, local police, and of course other agencies, both plainclothes and elsewhere. Just keeping the protection out there. So it's like you take that combination of all of the prayer to God for protection, and then of course you plan for the best, but you hope for the best, but you prepare for the worst, right? That's just how we work, and how we're seeing it there. Now that does look like possibly JD Vance's motorcade there. Now he does have Secret Service protection as well as the SWAT out there, SWAT team. And again, usually you think of a SWAT team, you think of an emergency situation, but not in this case. SWAT is out there just for extra security. And again, there are thousands of people outside as we see JD Vance pull up there. You can see the crowd still filing in. So we've got people in the lobby, filing into the lobby. We've got people upstairs, literally right above where I'm standing is an overhead where there's hundreds of people. And then, of course, down here on the floor, the seating is great. It's going to be a nice, cozy environment, about 600 people inside. Again, thousands outside. When we were rolling up to the event, we thought, well, either this is going to be massive or it's going to be a decent crowd. Well, it's massive. As you saw, if you started watching around 11:15 Eastern, right here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. So, as you've seen as well on the other live stream, whichever live stream you want to watch, or maybe watch both of us. You know, you've got the Secret Service director on one, and you know what? To be honest with you, if you mute ours and watch and listen to the Secret Service, and you mute ours and just see what's going on until JD takes the stage and turn the volume back up, I'm not going to be offended. I understand as a news person, I like to watch what's going on. So you can have us on the phone, on the iPad, on the TV, whatever you want to do, obviously. It's your choice. We're just happy you're with us here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. We're happy that you've been tuning in with Bobby McNeely covering the Secret Service director in D.C., and then, of course, happy that you're here on this stream as well. So it's a combo stream today, but it's awesome to be able to have that option to watch both at the same time or one or the other, regardless, we're thanking you again for that. Now, if you'd like to donate to Right Side Broadcasting Network, you can do so by texting RSBN to 801-801. A lot of great information with Right Side Broadcasting Network, not only live on TV when we show you the crowds and show you what's going on both outside and inside in this event here. We also can share with you a lot of information online, right? So rsbnetwork.com, you can get a lot of information there. And also on Truth Social or Telegram or Locals, you just go to @RSBN on Truth Social and then @RSB Network with X. And then, of course, we've got a Facebook page as well. So the more you share and spread the word about Right Side, the more people witness history in the making. You saw history in the making when it was Grand Rapids, when President Trump came out on that stage. And if you remember, the decibel count was about 101.1 soon after President Trump stepped out of that tunnel. I used my decibel app, and then, of course, we're seeing some people step to the stage right now, but I'll move out of the way just in case we get anything started here. And just let you know about some of the MAGA Inc. Comments about the Kamala Harris situation. They say radical California liberal Kamala Harris, quote, she encouraged people to contribute to a bail fund to free criminals. One of those freed ended up being charged with murder. This is from MAGA Inc. Taylor Budowich with MAGA Inc. said on a quote here, Kamala Harris was a weak on crime prosecutor. She granted probation to a man that went on to murder. And also, Harris supported the defund the police movement and said we need to, quote, reimagine public safety. We're told she even applauded the Los Angeles mayor for slashing police funding by $150 million. Harris backed abolishing ICE and said we need to think about starting from scratch. Harris owns all of Joe Biden's failures, and MAGA Inc.'s latest ad highlights how Kamala Harris covered up Joe Biden's cognitive decline, and America paid the price. So we're hearing a lot from MAGA Inc. on the possibility of Harris being the nominee for the DNC. And I was watching earlier today, as many of you have seen, if you look at some of the speeches that she's done, we know that, you know, she talked about the school bus and how exciting it is to ride a school bus and got all, like, you know, amped up about it. Okay, well, I mean, now she might be the nominee to run for president of the United States. So we'll see what happens with the DNC on that coming up in August in Chicago. We're going to thank some of our sponsors here. Let's go with the Birch Gold Group. After that, we're going to thank the Wellness Company and the freetrumpbook.com. Let's go with Birch Gold Group first. So all you have to do is text Trump to 989898. Text Trump to 989898. What you'll get is an info kit on gold, silver, and precious metals. That info kit, of course, can be in the mailbox or a digital one by texting Trump to 989898. You know, BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and other countries, they're trying to use their local currency instead of using the United States dollar. So that is obviously devaluing the dollar. Hopefully we get some Maganomics back. But either in the meantime or even into the future, having gold, silver, precious metals, always a good thing, of course. So all you got to do is text Trump to 989898, get more information with the Birch Gold Group. Next up, we also want to thank the Wellness Company, MakeCareGreatAgain.com. Use that promo code RSBN for 15% off. Got a lot of great information there at that website. And then you could possibly get that emergency kit if you move forward with the order process, filling out a medical form, ivermectin, amoxicillin, and a number of other things, a Z-Pack, are all in that emergency kit. So you can get that going to MakeCareGreatAgain.com. Use that promo code RSBN. then, of course, other than the wellness company, the freetrumpbook.com. So freetrumpbook.com. You can see that information on your screen. Mike Huckabee wrote that book and worked with a company there to get that book out there. And the book's all about President Trump and his great exploits that he did as president of the United States. So, so it's a great book right there. freetrumpbook.com. You can get some information there at the website and get one ordered if you'd like. Obviously, great products here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. Looking at a number of statistics here, I mean, we know that there are 17 electoral votes for the state of Ohio. Obviously, a number of other states are the major swing states, but usually Ohio is the way Ohio goes, the way the country goes, as you have heard in past presidential elections. Well, now we know that not only Ohio, but Michigan and Wisconsin, Nevada, Arizona, North Carolina, Georgia, Pennsylvania, all of these swing states right now are showing within the Rasmussen polls, Polymarket interactive polls, a large lead, if not at least a lead by President Trump over whether it's Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, or anybody in the Democrat Party that may run against President Trump. So what we may see in September, I think it's September 10th on Fake News ABC, there'll be a debate between President Donald Trump, the great president that was did great things between 2016 and 2021, of course, versus whoever the DNC puts up there on that stage. So it will be a very interesting debate. A lot of people will be watching that, just as they did in Grand Rapids when President Trump took the stage. A number of people, of course, will be watching this speech today by JD Vance. We're expecting him in about maybe 3 minutes or so. It depends if he's right on time. We did see that live footage from outside, our camera out there, seeing so many people in line waiting to get inside. Hopefully he will, but we will see. So once J.D. Vance gets inside here, the Senator of Ohio, the vice presidential nominee, of course, will take that speech live. This is not a network that will dip out of coverage. This is a stay in the coverage, right? It's everything from the people to the speeches, and we will have that here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. So thank you so much for watching on Rumble, on our app, on our website, whether it's on X or Facebook as well, or on the, like I said, the app, or on Facebook. So once again, we're happy to be here. We're going to show you the live crowd here, and I'll take a seat kind of in front of the camera as we await JD Vance here in Ohio. So, of course, Joe Biden's failed policies will translate into Kamala Harris's policies. You can change the name at the top of the ticket, but you can't change the damaging policies caused by the far left-wing Democrats. So you'll be seeing a lot more of that happening on the left if they, for the next 3 months. Then hopefully we see a change at the leadership position here in this country. You know, there is a job available at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and you have to hire the best candidate, right? Well, we know that Donald J. Trump and J.D. Vance for the position of president and vice president are in support from the country. You see them by watching the various crowds here in Ohio, but also within the polls as well. So we're seeing that everywhere we go. So let's look at some of President Trump's Truth Social posts as well. Now, literally just a few seconds ago, we're talking right now, President Trump just truthed, saying, quote, "Somebody please explain to Representative James Clyburn," he says, "not the brightest bulb in the house, that I am beating the Biden-Harris prosecutors like deranged Jack Smith, whose case against me in Florida, the biggest of them all, according to the radical left lunatics, was just thrown out as being unconstitutional." Again, this is from President Trump on Truth Social. "Now it is my time to sue them for illegally breaking into and raiding Mar-a-Lago. All of these Biden-Harris cases against me are a weaponization of justice against their political opponent, me. strictly third world country, MAGA 2024. That's fresh off the presses, as they say back in the day. President Trump just posting that literally 60 seconds ago. And then I spoke about this earlier. This is something that's pretty awesome going around, making the rounds on social media. The St. Louis Cardinals, this was from the Citizen Free Press there, appear to celebrate a home run with a fight salute to Donald Trump. Pretty awesome to see that here with the St. Louis Cardinals playing against the Pittsburgh Pirates. This just happened recently, where the baseball player that hit the home run goes around, pumps his fist in the air, and puts his other hand on his ear and yells, "Fight, fight, fight." And then it showed the dugout doing the same thing. People were there showing support and respect for President Trump some 8 days since the terrible incident that claimed the life of Corey Compatore, a great American hero and American patriot. Once again outside, a live look here in Middletown, Ohio, and inside the auditorium. We'll be having this speech live in its entirety once JD Vance takes the stage. This is his alma mater. This is his high school. This is where he went to high school. This is Middletown High School. And then traveling maybe about, I think it's about an hour and a half to Columbus, Ohio for Ohio State, where he studied political science and also philosophy. And then, of course, went to be a Marine and fought in the Iraq War. So 32 minutes after the hour here as we await JD Vance. So this is a hometown rally. This is a pretty awesome rally because it's not only people from Middletown, this is people from the region that have showed up to this event. As you may be seeing outside, there's a ton of people out there. We were so surprised to see that many people. This is definitely the Trump rally vibe that's happening here in Middletown. I see we're taking a look at our live shot here in the auditorium, but if we could see outside as well, just an awesome line there, talking to some great patriots. So you could see there, even on Truth Social just a couple minutes ago, JD Vance to speak at his first ever solo rally in the hometown here of Middletown, Ohio. So obviously you're watching us on either Rumble or YouTube or on our app or on our website. But also, go ahead and go to Truth Social. Follow us on there. Follow us on X. Follow us everywhere you are. As we see this huge crowd, I mean, these great posts on RSBN of the huge crowd outside as we await the vice presidential pick, JD Vance, here live on Right Side Broadcasting Network. So we traveled all the way from Alabama up to Grand Rapids. We met our other photographer who was at the Butler rally. So he drove all the way and met us in Grand Rapids. Then we drove yesterday 4.5 hours to Middletown. Then from here, we know that JD Vance will fly from Trump Force 2 all the way to Virginia, about 350 miles from here for an event. And then tomorrow, we'll kind of re-up, right? We'll get ready to go for yet another amazing rally. That'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina on Wednesday. Bobby McNeely, Nikki Stanzione live there in Charlotte on Wednesday. We'll have some live coverage from the studio as well. But this is time as we move forward as a country, as we are going to the next phase, the next gear of the campaign, this 2024 campaign news cycle, which, let's be honest, it has been ongoing since 2015. It has been a constant news cycle with politics since 2016. So it really, usually you talk about a campaign cycle or a presidential campaign cycle. Well, it's been nonstop because of the great things that happened under the Trump presidency, because of the terrible things that have happened under the Biden presidency. And now as we wait to see who is elected as the 47th president of the United States under a free and fair election, you would think that this map, the electoral map, would be full on red, similar to 1984 under Ronald Reagan and Walter Mondale. And I have a couple patriots right here in front of me looking at me and shaking their head, being like, exactly. President Reagan won more than 500 electoral votes. Walter Mondale won 13. 3 in the D.C. swamp, 10 from the state of Minnesota, because Mondale was from Minnesota. So I think the entire country, under a free and fair election, would vote for Donald Trump and JD Vance. We see the polls, we see the people, we see the terrible policies under Joe Biden, under Kamala Harris, under anybody that the DNC brings up. So let's just not fall for the headlines that the left-wing media, which is a lot of media. We've got 98% of media, in my estimation, is left-wing propaganda in the mainstream media. Conservative media is really only about 2%, but guess what? That's where the people are going right now. They're going to conservative media. They're turning off the fake news like never before. Isn't it awesome? For those of you watching right now, I know you feel me on that. It's great to have conservative media options where we interview the people of this country, where we show you the full speeches, where we're not trying to say, hey, here's a bunch of lying talking points. The thing that's great about conservative media is we are covering common sense and the truth. It's common sense to think we need to have gas prices back down to that $1.87 or lower a gallon, which we had under President Donald Trump. We need to get the housing costs back down, the construction costs back down, the real estate costs back down. We need the First and Second Amendment to continue to be the law of the land. So let's, ma'am, would you like to, let's do an interview. Why not? Okay. She said it wouldn't do me justice. Well, I think it would, because we the people are what this network is all about. But back to my point. Our great First Amendment. If you look at the 20 promises of the RNC, number 7, as you heard with Vanessa Broussard, Bobby McNeely, and myself, and then soon you'll hear from Nikki Stanzione as well. And we've heard recently from Paul Ingrassia last week for some of our coverage out of Butler. But everybody, of course, in support of the 20 promises. Number 7 had everything to do and has everything to do with defending our Constitution. So we heard so many people outside earlier with a lot of chants of USA and JD and fight, fight, fight. So we're hearing a lot of these people just be excited for President Trump, be excited for JD Vance in a time of our country that is, I mean, a movie script doesn't do this justice. This is a real life drama, and we're hoping that it'll turn into more of a peaceful, subdued, romantic rom-com. Why not, right? We want our country to turn into a beautiful republic where peace through strength is restored in this land. Now, of course, that sounds beautiful, right? But we still need to have a military superpower. We still need to have law and order. We still need to have a border wall. We still need to have protection and safety and strength. But we also want to have a free nation that can live with not a concern about speaking about what you believe in. Whether that's on the right wing or the left wing, we have that freedom of speech here. But the truth and the common sense, we've seen the extreme left try and take over the country, the extreme woke ideology. As you guys know, that's a woke mind virus, a woke mindset that is trying to tear the fiber of our nation down, trying to tear the fabric of our beautiful old glory, our flag, and rip it apart. But what we desire in the country is to keep the union together. And the only way that'll happen, in my opinion, is through President Trump. And when I mean union, yes, there have been two people that talked about seceding and that kind of thing if anything got really terrible. Well, I'm not going to go down that path, because what we desire, as I remember I interviewed Carrie Lake at CPAC last year, and she said, listen, you know, we don't want to have to go down a path that would be terrible for our country. And I agree. We want peace through strength. We want that 50 states to stay united. We want peace through strength. We want our country to be united and move forward under Maganomics, not Bidenomics. You're hearing that from the people. The people are saying this. I'm just echoing what we, the people, are saying. I'm echoing the sentiment, the common sense, the truth. You know, I'm sitting here in front of the camera. You don't see me on camera. I don't care. Like, sure, yeah, it's great to be on camera, but it's great to just kind of talk with you as you guys look right now inside this auditorium. I'm not sure if we have the live video from outside. But it has been a lot of, obviously, we've been traveling a lot. We've been at the events a lot. And it's 1:42. To be honest with you, I should have eaten some lunch. But I'm going to push through because we know that it's all worth it. If President Trump can take what he has taken verbally in the lawfare, in the attempted assassination, if I'm feeling okay, I'm feeling good, because at the end of the day, we know we can push through, and we hear the country and we hear the people in this auditorium right now hearing the songs that play at Trump rallies, the feeling of what that's like. And now that Senator JD Vance has joined the ticket via the pick from President Donald Trump. So we're moving forward here as a unit. The Trump-Vance ticket. The Republican Party is set, is solid, is secure, is strong, is working hard to have election integrity, to have the 20 promises become the way to be in this country. Everything from defending the Constitution, sealing the border, the Trump-Vance ticket. Rally vibes here in Middletown, Ohio, because it is a rally for JD Vance, who will be taking the stage at any moment. You're watching Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I guess when I speak and say any moment, I really mean it, because this might be the time that JD Vance takes the stage and just cut off the music. So we'll see if the Ohio Senator will be taking the stage here live in Middletown, Ohio. You're watching live broadcast with Right Side Broadcasting Network as the chants of JD. So let's listen in live in Middletown. Okay. The music's back up. All right, now this song is always great with Top Gun. Speaking of Top Gun, let's talk about Trump Force One, a beautiful plane, of course. Do you guys know that there is Trump Force 2, and that is JD Vance's jet? He'll be flying today from Ohio, 350 miles to Virginia in Trump Force 2. Beautiful 2 planes now for each, the presidential nominee and the vice presidential nominee. I'm going to stand up here and get ready to toss it to JD Vance with lights. All right. Well, we're going to stay off camera for the JD Vance speech here. We'll join you after that speech, and we'll thank some of our sponsors as well. But obviously a great day here in Middletown, Ohio. Thousands of people outside that couldn't even get into this building here, this Middletown High School. As it is 1:47 Eastern Time. Right Side Broadcasting Network bringing you live coverage here in Ohio. Then, of course, on Wednesday in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to throw to some music right now. We'll be back here in a second with the JD Vance speech here live on Right Side Broadcasting Network.
Senator JD Vance, accompanied by Usha Vance.
Wow. Wow. Well, I love you guys too. Just because we're in Middletown, I can say that, right? Man, it is so good. It is so good to be back home for once, isn't it? Wow. We had an amazing crowd here. We have an amazing crowd here. We had hundreds of people outside that couldn't even get in, and I'm just so grateful to Middletown for welcoming me home. It is good to be here. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Now, where can I get a good fried bologna sandwich right now? All right, this is the guy who makes it. All right, before we get started here, I have to say a few things. First of all, I want to take a moment to thank some outstanding Republican leaders that we have today. If you can stand to be recognized, I'd appreciate it. Attorney General Dave Yost. Where's Dave? Okay. The great congressman representing Middletown, Ohio, Warren Davidson. Where's Warren? We've got the Ohio GOP chairman. I call him Alex T. I'm probably going to butcher your name, Alex. Alex Triantafilou. Pretty good? Got it. All right. I've learned. Of course, the next senator for the United States of Ohio, Bernie Moreno. Don't get too excited. This is my event, not Bernie's event. We got Orlando Sanza, a great congressional candidate, got a good chance of winning. A very tough race. If you can help out Orlando, please do. And look, every single one of these officials, state and local, if I didn't see anybody or didn't remember anybody, I apologize. We've got a great slate of state and local officials who are ready to make this state and this country great again. God bless you guys. God bless you for your service, and thank you for stepping up. And I got to say hello, Middletown, Ohio. Hello to the great Middletown Middies. I am so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful for this turnout. You know, so many of you know my story, but I graduated from Middletown, Ohio School in 2003, 21 years ago. And a lot of you know the story of my family. A lot of you, I mean, hell, a lot of you are my family, actually. We're probably, if you count fourth and fifth cousins, half of you are probably related to me in this room. But, you know, this town was so good to me, and I could tell so many stories about, you know, my mama, my grandmother. I could tell stories about my mom and my sister. I could tell stories about Aunt Wee. I know Aunt Wee's here. We've got so many great, I think all those people are here, actually. I think Cheryl, where's Cheryl? You here, Cheryl? I love you, Cheryl. My stepmom. We just got so many good people who've been so good to me. But even if you cast a wider net, you know, Ron Selby was my math teacher in high school. Ron's got to be around here somewhere. I know he is. Now, I will tell a story. Now, I don't know if this story is actually true or if it's just the legend of Ron Selby. But Ron, if it's not true, don't tell me, because I've gone 21 years believing it, and I don't want to be I don't want to be contradicted now, but the story is that at some point, Ron, of course, was a tough teacher. He demanded a lot of his students, and I was a beneficiary of that. But the story goes that at one point, Ron Selby had a student who really didn't want to take one of those world-famous Ron Selby math final exams. And so somebody called in a bomb threat to Middletown, Ohio school. So everybody goes outside, of course. Everybody remembers, was a student at one point or another. Well, you get a bomb threat, you got to go stand outside. The fire department comes. But Ron was really pissed off that somebody was messing with his schedule. So he walked to the kid's locker, got what was allegedly the bomb, threw it in a trash can, and said, I know this kid, he's not smart enough to make a bomb. Let's get back to school. That's the legend of Ron Selby. I could go through half an hour and longer just talking about so many of you who made me who I am, and I'm so grateful to you. And I said at the RNC convention, which was the craziest speech and the craziest environment I've ever given, it's like all of you times 100 people, right? They were just as excited as you guys are, times about 100 people. You could barely hear yourself think, but I said, I will never forget where I came from. Ladies and gentlemen, I came from Middletown, Ohio. I am proud of it, and I will never forget where I came from. And in fact, I might make the Secret Service take me to Central Pastry afterwards to get some. I'm dead serious. They get nervous. They do not like unexpected. And I love Milton's too, of course. Both. I love both. But Milton's has expanded a little bit. I feel like you can get Milton's not just at the place that's there on what is that, Roosevelt? I feel like you can get Milton's anywhere now, or at least a lot of other places, so it's cast a wider net. Anyway, we're going to talk about donuts all day. You can tell what I skipped lunch, so my mind's on donuts here. But I'll tell you another story. My mamaw was just an incredible woman, and a lot of you knew her, and a lot of you knew her personally. And I talked at the RNC convention, and I'll repeat this story just because I think it illustrates how tough she was. That, Mamaw died in 2005, and I was a United States Marine at that point, and I was just about to leave for Iraq. And when Aunt Wee and the rest of us went through her things, they discovered 19 loaded handguns in Mamaw's. That is not a made-up, no, that's... That's right. That's right. Well, when she introduced herself, sir, she is an Appalachian American, and when she introduced herself to my uncle, my Aunt Wee's husband, for the first time, she said, "I'm from Breathitt County, Kentucky, where a woman isn't fully dressed without her gun." So that was Mamaw's attitude, and she was tough. And she was disciplined, and she is the reason why I've had so many of the good opportunities that I've had in my life. But people don't realize she was an incredibly sweet and kind and caring person, too. And I'll never forget, I was probably 10 or 11 years old, and she picked me up from school. And there was just this very, I'd never seen this person. She was probably 14 or 15, young girl who was sitting in the back of the car, and she was clearly a little freaked out. And I'm going to get emotional telling this story. And I don't think that I've ever told this story before, but, Mamaw said, I said, "Who is this person, who's in our car?" And Mamaw said, "Don't worry about it, none of your business." And I said, "Okay, I'll shut up." And eventually we dropped her off, and then we went back home, and I asked Mamaw, "Well, who was that?" And she said, "Well, that was a little girl, and I guess there was some pretty bad abuse in her house. And when that little girl ran away from home and tried to find a safe space, she asked, 'Where could I go?' And everybody said, 'You can go to Bonnie Vance's house.'" And that is the Mamaw, but that is the Middletown that I knew. You guys were always so good to me. I could talk about any number of public school teachers, from Ron Selby to a number of others. I could talk about people who looked after us when we were riding our bikes around. Mamaw was, she was always worried about safety, but she was never that worried about safety in Middletown, Ohio, because she trusted the people who lived here, and she knew they were good human beings who would look after all of us. They would look after all their kids and grandkids. I-O. Now, I got to be careful about that because Michigan is one of the most important battleground states. So I cannot give the state of Michigan any reason to vote against the Trump-Vance ticket. We got to work hard for every single vote. But look, my point in telling some of these stories is just that I love every one of you, and I love this town, and I'm so grateful to have been formed by it because I wouldn't be who I was without it. And people will sometimes say, well, you had a tough life. And in some ways, things weren't always easy, but a lot of you will know, a lot of you read my book, my life wasn't all that different from a lot of people who grew up in Middletown, Ohio. It was tough, but it was surrounded by loving people, and it was surrounded by something that if we don't fight is not going to be around for the next generation of kids, and that's opportunity. Middletown had opportunity, and we got to make sure it's there for the next generation. You know, when President Trump asked me to be his running mate, I really had no idea what was coming. What happened is I left my home in Cincinnati, so we lived not too far from here, about a 35-minute drive, 45 minutes depending on traffic, and we went to Milwaukee on Monday morning, and I had no idea. I thought maybe he was going to ask me, but I thought I might ask somebody else. There were a lot of good guys running. Marco Rubio, a dear friend of mine, really great public servant, a number of other folks as well. So I had no idea what was coming. And when the president called me and asked me, he said, would you like to run as my vice presidential running mate? I said, well, yeah, of course, right? We didn't come all this way to say no. But he did something that was really amazing afterwards. He said, well, what do you think about this statement I'm about to put out? Of course, he put it out on social media. It's one of the things I love about President Trump is that he speaks directly to people. He doesn't allow a bunch of consultants to filter him. He is who he is, and that's why a lot of us love him. But he's talking about this statement, and I've got him on speakerphone, and my kid's in the background, my 7-year-old son. We've got 3 kids, and our 7-year-old is our oldest. His name is Ewan, and Ewan is talking in the background about Pokemon or some other God-forbidden subject. I'm like, son, I love you, but could you please, this is the most important phone conversation I've ever gotten. So please stop talking about Pikachu for 1 second. Let me take his phone call. And my son comes over to the phone, and the president hears him, and President Trump says, who is that? And I said, that's my 7-year-old son. And he says, well, put him on the phone. I'm like, oh, God, here it is. He's going to offer it and take it back because my 7-year-old's going to say something really weird right now. And he reads off the statement. He reads where he talks about my military service and my business background. He says, young man, what do you think about that? Do you like what I said about your dad? And my son goes, girl. And that's it. And that was the endorsement he needed. The statement went out 3 minutes later. But that is the kind of guy that Donald Trump is, and that's the guy that the media doesn't let you see. He actually cares about people's families. He cares about my family, but he cares about your family too. And he wants to believe that his generation left this country off in a better place than when they found it. That's why he's done this. I mean, I'll talk about myself all day, but let's talk about the man who was a business leader who had billions of dollars, who didn't need any of the sacrifices that public service created, and yet he went out there and he did it anyway. That's the type of people we want to become public servants, and thank God he served for 4 years as President of the United States. And now, ladies and gentlemen, after 4 years of Joe Biden's presidency, or whoever actually is calling the shots in Joe Biden's White House, are we ready to re-elect President Donald J. Trump again? Now, when I was researching what I would say at the RNC, and I mostly write my own stuff. I'm not going off a teleprompter right now. You can probably tell that. The president actually came out. He called me right before I went on and gave my speech, and he said, JD, you're going to do great. Just give me a little pep talk. You're going to be wonderful. The crowd out there is great. Just go out there and speak from your heart. And I said, sir, that's right. That's exactly what I'm going to do. But got to be honest with you, if I totally screw it up, it's too late. No takebacks, right? You've already asked me, I've already accepted, no take back. So this speech is just going to be icing on the cake. Thank you, ma'am. God bless you. I was. But here's the thing. I was researching what I was going to say about the president, and I realized that over a lifetime of business leadership, and then, of course, a few years of public service, the country has made a lot of stupid decisions, and President Donald Trump was right about every single one being a mistake. And just... You go back to 1994, I was a third grader at Roosevelt Elementary School on Central Avenue, which doesn't exist anymore. We've got some Roosevelt people in here, God bless you. And 1994, this country gave a sweetheart trade deal to Mexico that sent hundreds of thousands of good manufacturing jobs, many of them in our communities, to Mexico. That was a bad idea. We shouldn't have done it, and Donald Trump said it was a bad idea, right? The current administration, by the way, supported it. In 2000, towards the end of the 1990s, I should say, we gave a sweetheart trade deal to the communist Chinese. We allowed them to build their middle class off the backs of the American middle class. And you know who supported it? The current people in power. You know who opposed it? Donald J. Trump. And in 2003, and look, it was Republicans and Democrats, a lot of people supported this. I'm not just beating up on the other side. But in 2003, we went to war in Iraq. And remember, it was supposed to be just a few weeks, and then everything would be over. And I was an 18-year-old kid. I supported it, and I was wrong. And you know who was right? President Donald J. Trump. He knew. He somehow knew, even though he was a real estate developer in New York, that this thing would become a quagmire. It would cost thousands of lives and trillions of dollars. And I think we want the kind of president who sees around corners, who doesn't follow the stupid conventional wisdom right off the cliff, who fights for American citizens, puts them first, and has the wisdom to know how to lead this country. That's right. He probably does have an IQ of 210, but don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. So, the problem is, when our leadership makes all these dumb decisions, we know exactly who suffers the consequences. It's the people right here in this room and the communities that we live in. So I want to say, and I know there's some TV cameras here, and I'm sure this rally is being covered in any number of media channels. I want to talk about the future, and I want to talk about what President Trump and Vice President Vance ticket will mean for the American people, who we're going to fight for, and how exactly we're going to do it. So let's start with who we're going to fight for. Number one, we're going to fight for every single worker in this country. If you work hard and play by the rules, you ought to be able to put a good dinner on the table and send your kids to whatever vacation and whatever school you want to. Work hard and play by the rules, you get a good life. It's that simple. We're going to fight for every single parent to send their kids to a school where they get a good education and not an indoctrination. Right? Now what? Thank you. Now, I got a great education at Middletown High School. I graduated in 2003. I joke that I got a PhD, a public high school diploma, and I'm very proud of it. And there are great school teachers in public and private schools all across our country, but for some reason, the Federal Department of Education is trying to lean into indoctrination at our schools instead of teaching, reading, writing, and arithmetic at our schools. Let's get back to common sense for our teachers and the students they depend on. God bless you, sir. Now look, we fight for the grandmothers who are raising, and the grandfathers and the aunts and the uncles who are raising a generation of grandkids that they didn't expect to raise. That is who we represent, and that is who we fight for. And one of the coolest things, my book came out in 2016. And one of the coolest things about my book is I heard from a lot of Americans from all walks of life, but especially from black Americans who would come up to me and say, our story is your story. Whether it's the drug epidemic or whether it's this epidemic of crime and violence that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris unleashed in our country, we have got a lot of grandparents, white, black, and every skin color, that are raising kids that they didn't expect to raise. And they're doing it because it's the right thing to do, and they do it because they love their communities. My message to them is simple. I will fight for you, because if it wasn't for a grandma like that, I would not be standing here today getting to run as your next vice president of the United States. And to those grandmas and grandpas, the nanas, the mamas, and the papas, let me just say, from a kid who was, not as grateful as I should have been when I was 15 and 16 years old. Kids, when they're that age, I hear they're not that grateful. I'm sure I'll learn it the hard way here in a few years. But let me just say that from the bottom of my heart, thank you. You may never hear it from the kid that you're raising, but trust me, in their heart, they appreciate it, and they know they wouldn't be anywhere without you. So God bless you guys for stepping up. God bless you, and thank you. We're going to fight for the energy worker in this country who doesn't understand why Kamala Harris and Joe Biden want to buy energy from tin-pot dictators all over the world, but won't buy it with our own citizens, from our own citizens, and from the hands and from our own land. Drill, baby, drill. It's a very, very simple concept, but it's profound because we've got great energy workers in Pennsylvania. We've got great energy workers in Ohio and all across our country. They want to do a good job. They want to earn a reasonable wage, and they want to power the American economy. Why don't we have a president that lets them do exactly that, ladies and gentlemen? Unleash American energy, drill, baby, drill, and let's turn the page on this craziness. And it's not just about the energy workers, it's about workers all across our country because, I have to believe in this crazy thing that we ought to make more of our own stuff in this country, right? And I know President Trump agrees. But think about this. You know where 95% of the ibuprofen, Advil, 95% of it, you know where it's manufactured? China. You know where the gross majority of the antibiotics that we put in the bodies of our children come from? China. Now, I don't know if you were alive the past 5 years, but do you remember maybe why we shouldn't trust the Chinese attitude towards public health? What? I got to be honest with you. I don't trust a damn plastic toy coming from China. I sure as hell don't trust the drugs that we put in the bodies of our children. Let's make our own stuff, my friends. But you can't manufacture anything unless you've got low-cost energy, which we've got it. We are sitting on the Saudi Arabia of natural gas. The next 100 years, we could be energy dominant, which helps our people pay lower energy costs. It helps our citizens who work in the energy sector, and it helps our manufacturers make more of our own stuff and become more self-reliant in our own country. It's a win-win. We just got to get the current crop of crazies out of there and replace them with President Trump. That's right. We do need to do that. We need voter ID in this country, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to cast a ballot, show a piece of identification. It is the weirdest thing to me. Democrats say that it is racist to believe, well, they say it's racist to do anything. I had a Diet Mountain Dew yesterday and one today. I'm sure they're going to call that racist too, but it's good. love you guys. But these people were telling jokes up in the front row. You guys might not be able to hear it, but I'm getting caught up in it. But look, here's the very simple thing. We believe that we want to make more of our own stuff, and we believe that we want to have secure elections, and we believe we want to have schools that don't indoctrinate our children. That's not racist, ladies and gentlemen. It is common American Middletown sense, and I'm proud to be from this town and to take the wisdom from it. Now, let me talk just a little bit about how we're going to do it. The number one thing that we're going to do, because you can't do anything unless you get there to govern, is we are going to win this election, ladies and gentlemen. Over the next 4 years, we are going to do a lot of good for people all over this country. Well, sir, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Knock on wood, we got to win this race first. But to get there, the next 4 months, we've got to do everything that we can. And I'd ask you, all of you, if you can find something to do to get involved, please do it. There are doors that we can knock on. There are people that we need to deliver to the polls. There are people who are going to vote for President Trump and Vice President Vance and for Bernie Moreno, but we got to get them to the polls, right? So that's one thing you can do, is remind your friends to get out there and vote and make sure they get to the polls. The second thing that we have to do is push back on every channel that we can. The media is never going to be fair to President Donald J. Trump, but you're going to be fair. So use the voice that you have. Use it on Facebook and Instagram. Go on social media and actually make the case for President Trump and Vice President Vance. That is the thing that every single one of you can do. And if you take the people in this room and you magnify it by 100, which you can do with your own platforms and your own voices, that is way more powerful than the lying media and the corrupt Democratic establishment. Let's get to work, ladies and gentlemen. Let's win this thing. Now, I would not be here if it were not for the generosity and the incredible opportunity of this country. And I just want every single kid, every single parent to know that because they live in America, they can dream big dreams. I remember, my friends, so many moments in Middletown, Ohio, riding my bike down, Central, which Mama was kind of okay with, and then down University, which she was not okay with. If you got kids and you know this town, you know what I'm talking about. But I just remember looking to the future. And the thing that I wanted most in the whole world, I just wanted to be able to give my kids a little bit of stability and comfort that I didn't have when I was growing up. That's all I really wanted. And when I think about the American dream, I don't think about writing a book. I don't think about becoming a business guy. I don't even think about running for Vice President of the United States, even though it is pretty cool to do that. I think about becoming a husband and a father, and that is the way in which this community and this country was best to me. And while we're talking about it, did my wife do a good job the other night or what? Didn't she do great? She is. There she is. She's too embarrassed to stand up, but get used to it, honey. It's going to be 4 months of me embarrassing you. That's what we do. But I just think, when I consider how good this country has been to me, I just think about how much I owe to it. That gratitude should come with a sense of responsibility. And when I think about Kamala Harris, who I guess is our vice presidential candidate officially, but I guess she's going to run for president now because Joe Biden dropped out of the race. When I see... I'm going to take bets here. I'm going to start a betting pool just in this auditorium. But I wonder, when I see her give a speech, and she talks about the history of this country, not with appreciation, but with condemnation. And look, of course, every country, just like every family, certainly mine, has its pockmarks, right? Not everything's perfect. It's never going to be. But if you want to lead this country, you should feel grateful for it. You should feel a sense of gratitude. And I never hear that gratitude come through when I listen to Kamala Harris. And that's what we've got to do. Fundamentally, you're going to agree, hopefully, since you're here, you're going to agree, hopefully, with most of what President Trump and I want to do. We want to... We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to shut down that border. We're going to put America's citizens first because that's what America's citizens are going to elect us to do. It's common sense. Thank you, sir. But even when you disagree with us, nobody's ever perfect. No politician is perfect, certainly not me. But you deserve to be led by people who are grateful for the community they came from, who are grateful for this country and its boundless opportunities, who are grateful for the service of our veterans and the people who put their lives on the lines, from police and firemen on down. I believe that you deserve to be led by people who are grateful. And I know that President Trump is grateful for this country, and I know that I am, and I know we're never going to stop fighting to give you the same opportunities that we got. That's what this whole thing's all about. Now, look, I'm going to go really off script here, and all my communication staffers back there are going to get a little nervous. I was hanging out with my kids yesterday. We're actually swimming at the swimming pool, and somebody brought over their phone and showed me the news that Joe Biden had announced he was dropping out of this race. And look, I don't like Joe Biden, and I don't like his policies, and I'm not a Democrat primary voter. I never have been, and I never will be, unless something goes really wrong, ladies and gentlemen. But look, what is going on in this country is absolutely disgraceful. And let me get a little philosophical here. I imagine most of you did not vote for Joe Biden, and if you did, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you. But if you want to run for president, you've got to make your case to voters. You make your case to voters. That's what President Trump did, even though he had already been the president. And even though he was by far the most popular person in the Republican Party, he ran for the Republican presidential nomination. He faced some good competition, and he made his case to voters. The idea of selecting the Democrat Party's nominee because George Soros and Barack Obama and a couple of elite Democrats got in a smoke-filled room and decided to throw Joe Biden overboard, that is not how it works. That is a threat to democracy, not the Republican Party, which is fighting for democracy every single day. This is not okay, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot for 3.5 years take a guy who clearly didn't have the mental capacity to do the job. Kamala Harris lied about it. My Senate Democratic colleagues lied about it. The media lied about it. Every single person who saw Joe Biden knew that he wasn't capable of doing the job. And for 3 years, they said nothing until he became political dead weight. That is not a way to run a country. That is not a way to run a political party. That is an insult to voters. And so, and I really believe, even though I think the leadership of that party is corrupt, I really believe that most Americans are fundamentally good, whether they're Democrat, Republican, or independent. My life has taught me to put my faith in people because they put their faith in me and gave me a lot of opportunities. So my message to Democrats who are disgusted by this process, disgusted by how anti-democratic it is, you are welcome in the Republican Party, where we think we should persuade voters and not lie to voters. Come on in, the water's warm. Thank you, guys. We love you too, ma'am. God bless you. I just got to say, this entire system of ours is about, you got to persuade voters. You got to win their votes. You don't decide who the president is in smoke-filled rooms with billionaires and senior elected officials. You let the people decide. That's what we believe in this room, and that's what we're going to fight for, I promise you. So and by the way, thinking about takebacks, I was told I was going to get to debate Kamala Harris, and now President Trump's going to get to debate her. I'm kind of pissed off about that, if I'm being honest with you. So I just want to say to Middletown and a lot of forgotten communities all across our country, because we really have been forgotten in Middletown, Ohio. They think that we're backwards. They think that we're bad people. They think that we don't know how to do anything, and we do, ladies and gentlemen. This is where things are made. This is the source of America's greatness. But I just want to say, I promise you this. I will fight every single day to restore an America that works for Americans. I will fight for policies that lower the costs of your groceries, lower the costs of your housing, make life more affordable, not less affordable as it has been under the Democrats. I will fight for energy policies that make it easy to heat your home in the winter and cool it in the summer, because I lived with a mamaw who sometimes worried whether there was money enough to heat the house in the winter. I will fight for every single one of your children when they lay their head down at night before they fall asleep to dream about the future as one of hope and possibility. Your children deserve the inheritance of this country. And the inheritance of this country is that their lives will be better than their parents, and their children's lives even better than that. That is the American dream that we fight for, and I will never stop fighting for that America dream. And I really believe this, my friends, the best way to do it, the best way to bring energy and food and housing costs down, the best way to seal that border and stop the fentanyl and the poison from coming into our communities, the best way to bring common sense back to our education system and our foreign policy is to re-elect Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. And you know, it's so funny. The media says, well, you know, JD said some critical things about President Trump 10 years ago. And Kamala Harris, of course, called Joe Biden a racist and then ran with him 2 months later. And I think, my friends, because I was critical of President Trump in 2016, I realized two things. One, the media lies about this guy nonstop. They really do. It's unreal. He's a good husband. He's a good father, good grandfather. All of his family from millennia on down, they love the guy. And that's why, by the way, we were so scared last Saturday when an assassin almost took him from us. But he cares about human beings. He is not the caricature or the lie that the media has told you that he is. He is a person who believes this very simple thing, and they call him a radical for it, but it happens just to be common sense. His radical idea is that America should make more stuff in its own country for its own citizens, and that the American nation belongs to the American people. Let's re-elect Donald J. Trump. Let's get this country back on track. Middletown, I love you. I wouldn't be here without you, and I will never forget where I came from. Go Middies, and God bless you guys. Thank you.
Great speech by JD Vance of Ohio, of course, the Ohio senator and also the vice presidential nominee under the President Trump, in the sense of now the Trump-Vance ticket here in 2024. Obviously a great moment there when one of the supporters yelled out to JD and said, "You were born for this." And the place erupted with cheers and applause, and JD said thank you. So that was a nice moment there. You know, it's always good to see the authentic moments like that, whether it's with President Trump or with JD Vance, which just happened here in Middletown, Ohio. Obviously, an awesome speech here, as the people here are very excited to have a Trump Vance ticket moving forward. Now, I could also tell you that the other story that's pretty big is the fact that there are thousands of people that were outside that could not access this auditorium. So about 800 to 900 people, I'm told, were in this auditorium. But as we take a look at video from out there, you could see that the senator took time to meet with the people for a few seconds, to say hello, to wave. Our camera was out there. We captured that moment live. And it's always good to see the fact that, you know, politicians, right? Usually what we've been used to over the years are more of the untouchable elitists. But President Trump is not that guy, neither is JD Vance. So a great moment here in Middletown, Ohio. I'm Matthew Alvarez live right now. Obviously the next rally will be in North Carolina, in Charlotte, where Bobby McNeely and Nikki Stanzione will be picking up that coverage there. We'll also be in the studio live as well. So it's going to be a great day on Wednesday. We're starting off the week wonderfully. Obviously, Saturday night was epic in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I want to thank a number of our great sponsors here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, including the Birch Gold Group. Can you say that again, Director? And so Birch Gold Group, all you have to do is text Trump to 989898. Get all the great information about gold, silver, and precious metals. So that's Birch Gold Group at Trump to 989898. The Wellness Company, MakeCareGreatAgain.com, an emergency kit that is always good to have, whether it's a Z-Pack or ivermectin, amoxicillin. Go to MakeCareGreatAgain.com and use that promo code RSBN to get 15% off. Also, we want to thank the Free Trump Book, freetrumpbook.com. Thanks to Mike Huckabee writing that great book, working with a publisher. Always good to have truth about President Trump instead of the lies that are constantly pushed from the mainstream media. And again, the headlines are that our country's hurting, that Donald Trump and JD Vance are the two that can hopefully make America great again with a win in November. They will make America great again, hopefully with that win in November, of course. My Pillow, we got to thank Mike Lindell, of course, a great patriot. Use the RSBN promo code with his company as well. So it's My Pillow. You get a great percentage off with a number of wonderful products with Mike Lindell. So this has been somewhat of an RSBN ground tour. We should get an RSBN tour bus at the end of the day at this point, traveling all the way from Alabama to Georgia, all the way through Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Michigan. We had another photographer go from Pennsylvania to Michigan. We're driving back because of those flights being canceled all week. Thank you. Love you guys too. And so, but we do it for, obviously, it's our job, but at the end of the day, it's for the country. So I'm Matthew Alvarez. For all of us at Right Side Broadcasting Network, thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Welcome to the Right Side Broadcasting Network. We're not like the other media outlets out there that cut and edit what other people say. In 2015, we were created by our founder, Joe Seals, to cover President Donald J. Trump's speeches and rallies, to which we continue to do to this day. We've also covered important conservative events like CPAC, TPUSA, March for Life, and many other important events and hearings around the country. We were made for people like you, everyday Americans who are tired of the mainstream media, who are tired of being lied to, manipulated, and fed an agenda. Our goal here at Right Side Broadcasting is to allow you to see the truth, giving our correspondents and commentators a wide latitude to speak their minds. You won't find anything like this in the mainstream media. Your support through your donations, locals, and supporting our advertisers allows us to continue to cover important events around the country each and every day. So, from us here at Right Side Broadcasting, thank you for supporting us and the right side of history.